Let me hit the rock fin side.
Rock fan.
Yeah, Geography Pros already hopped in there. Much love. Says David Icke is right when he says left and right diversion pop up. Starting to think the only way. I'll read it in a second once we're live over there too. All right, boom, clicked it. We are live. Um, Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Political Matrix and Blunt Force Wisdom collaboration. Of course, y'all know Steve. Steve has been here before, but our first time, and I'm glad to welcome Teal on also. How are y'all doing tonight?
Doing good, doing good. Excited to be here. Happy to be here with y'all.
Doing good, man. Fuck yeah.
Sweet, sweet.
No, it's gonna be fun.
What's up? What's up, brother, man? Chris, how we doing, brother?
Oh shit, man, I'm good, kid. Just been around the world and back again, right? Everything is good. Same as usual. Throughout the course of your day, you hear things, see things. So I'm just trying to pay attention to a couple of things, but there's a lot of shit happening as usual. Some exciting, some stupid, but there's a lot of shit happening. So other than that, I'm all right, man. I can't complain, man. As I was telling you backstage, I don't know if Mark is going to allow me on since I shaved during the holy month. This might be my last program, y'all. So just wish me well. Going
it's
forward.
all right. I'm just going to inform a certain person of your whereabouts and how they can sneak into your house in the middle of the night. That's all I'm gonna do. Nothing. A person who loves to call you a narcissist all the time. Just let them come see you. That's all.
Cheers.
No big deal. No big deal.
That's vicious. That's vicious, Marcus.
I mean, either I can do that. Either I can do that, or I can have some Catholic priest like give him about 15 lashes.
Ooh.
I mean, I don't know.
Shame.
Yeah. With the bitch with the bell too.
Shame.
Yo, let me ask you before we jump into stuff. Let me ask you. I wanted to ask you guys backstage too. Has anybody been watching Shogun?
I will be starting that this week. I just finished The Wire.
Yeah, Shogun is good. The beef between the Portuguese Christians and the English Protestants is interesting to see. In the in the country of Japan, it's just the Portuguese knew about Japan, the English didn't, and they just touched the island for the first time. It's a very interesting piece. It's actually very good. It's high quality shit for once. So it's worth checking out for sure.
Heard that. I'll definitely get into that. I like period pieces. That's my jams.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my jams.
Oh shit, Hamza's in the building too. Says
Hamza,
Mauricio, Shogun was my favorite fighter in Pride.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat. Wesley, what's up, Thomas? What's up, Yonina? Remind me, Yonina, we if I remember, might jump on the topic of move for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't think a lot of people know
bombing.
Yeah. The move bombing, because a lot of people don't know about that. So we're definitely going to talk about that just a little bit. I see Warren in the building. What's up? Nut Ram Case. Oh, because they make a concerted effort so people won't know, and that's what shows like ours are around for. K83 says, I wonder if this is the first of many episodes with Blunt Force. Interesting use of words because I see collaboration and not simply the word guest. You are too motherfucking. My audience has got y'all too fucking smart.
God,
you let it out of the bag.
Checking.
Right. We were supposed to tease that we're all just fucking homies and shit. Nobody was supposed to know.
Right.
Y'all in this stealing our thunder shit. Gotta cut it out.
Didn't even announce it. Damn.
Yeah.
Hamza says he said he just came from Mexico. Border is wide open. Yeah, I mean, Hamza, you gotta tell us something we didn't know, but thank you very much for the confirmation though. You know, it's always good to hear from people, you know, who are actually in the real world, touching the grass, as they say.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll just say you will see this. You will see us on camera more often. I'm not even gonna say how much or when, whatever. Just know this is not a one-time occurrence. This ensemble, as it may. So we got some fun stuff to talk about, everybody. I mean, fun as in some of it is fun, some of it's going to be
Fun
some
as
funny
in
shit.
Chris's tax return is going to fund our appearances on your show from now on. Is that what you?
For sure, yes.
I mean,
Yeah, we
I
gonna
don't know.
depend on that.
That's deep pockets. That's
We
deep
gonna
pockets
depend
over there.
on that.
That's
Yo,
Mr.
you know,
Deep Pockets over there.
speaking of taxes, when you don't have any dependents to claim, that shit is crazy.
Bro.
Like you got, I gotta find like a woman with like 7 children who are under the age of like 5, so I can at least claim 2 of them. I mean, so
Well, this video I was
2 is
watching
the
earlier,
max.
you can find her because she was
Shut
a
up.
daddy. She got 6. That'd be perfect for you. You can start
Yo,
you
I'm
a
just
new
telling you.
basketball team.
Yeah,
Right?
for real.
Right, the squad
real.
and a sub.
Dog.
Shit.
I got a friend that got 7. She popped them all out too. Each and every one of them. Wow, this
Damn.
shit happened. And she would tell me all the time how bad she want to date. And I'd be like, girl, just get back
Yeah,
with your baby
no.
daddy. Just go back to your husband,
She
y'all.
could sell-
They all his
She
too.
she could sell 5 of them at tax time. I don't mean physically sell the kids, but I'm talking about their information for taxes. So pause. She could sell like 5 of them.
I know,
Just
bro.
wanted
I was
to-
always trying to claim one of them. Like there was one that was
See,
my
look.
favorite. I was trying to cap that one. I was
See, look.
I used to pick her up taking to McDonald's and shit. That was my dog.
See?
That was my dog right there. I was there. I was like, yo. Let me
Yeah, that's
see.
how
Here
you
we-
go
I
to
just
somebody
went.
with a bunch of kids in the hood. If somebody has more than 3 kids in the hood, yeah, 2 of them information is gonna be, they're gonna collect on
It's
that.
valuable.
'Cause
Look,
2
I
is the
got
max.
you. This is my declaration. Okay. Let me get one of them kids. I got their school clothes. That's the
See?
trade-off. I will get
See?
their school clothes.
You
ain't
would
even gotta worry
have
about
moms hanging out like they used to do back in the 80s with the paper fucking food stamps with social security cards.
tell them to go hang
Correct.
out in front of H&R Block. I'll beat them. Hang outside the tax
See?
building. Them women would make a killing, bro. Hang outside the tax building. All your kids' school clothes get bought.
You
Look
at
hang
him.
out. You hang
Who
out. At
says
the
we don't
coffee
have
shop
solutions
or
here?
like the boba shop or something right next to the H&R Block. Okay,
Get-
this is what
Yes.
you do. This is what you do. You buy up all of one accessory, and as you're fucking just hanging out, and people walk up and they try to order that thing, and they're disappointed, and they walk out. You be like, "Hey, overheard what's going on. I happen to have an extra muffin. I wouldn't mind sharing it with you. How's your day going? Oh, well, blah, blah, blah. H&R Block my kids. Let me tell you something. You don't have to go through H&R Block. In fact, not only do I know someone who will do your taxes cheaper than H&R Block, but
Correct.
here's how this is going to work. And for a muffin, you get that kid.
Damn,
Cost
that
of a
kid just wants
muffin to you.
muffin?
He
You
says
could have
hello,
that
lovely
kid.
muffins. And then you can tell her, I'll share you my muffin if you share me your muffin also.
Correct.
We
we
got
still
love
running
for the
tax
muffin
numbers?
tops.
Look, you heard me. I was like, are we about taxes?
We're
Oh,
still
boy.
talking about taxes, too. We are.
Okay.
We are.
Damn, Thomas, that's a sad story with a happy ending.
Mm.
I'm just saying. I need one kid, y'all. Just one. Please.
What up, Wheezy? What up, Wheezy?
Wheezy. Wheezy
But,
needs a hug, you guys. Somebody go hug Wheezy.
Weezy, what's up?
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
oh yeah,
you know,
shout out to Gregory. Gregory's over on the Rock Fin side, Geography
Greg,
Pro 2.
what's up, man?
He said Shogun is a remake, Chris.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is a remake. I read about that earlier, but the somebody from over there was saying, yeah, it is a remake. However, the way they're doing it, they said they're doing justice to it and even exceeding it. So, you know, when I heard that, I said, okay, this is somebody who knows about the original, and they're saying that, so I'll check it out at least. But it actually turned out, it actually is pretty good. So you won't be upset. But there's subtitles, so you got to read. So for my reading is fundamental people, you know, maybe just pay attention.
Yeah, Wesley says, yeah, it was a novel written back in the 70s. Listen to and you know what? Since we already kind of alluding to things for those who enjoy our insights on entertainment, we got something that's that we're working on in the future. So I'll just keep our ear to the ground on that, and once we get some things finalized, we'll let y'all know what we got coming. But oh yeah, we had a for those who don't know which topics we got, because maybe you didn't catch the thumbnail, maybe you just hopping straight in and all you see is Blunt Force Wisdom collaboration. Yes, it is a collaboration. We're gonna have some fun, and but we are going with like I say all the time, we're gonna give you the vegetables, but you get your dessert too. You know, we're gonna give you a full course meal, and I got some stuff that I didn't hid back. I haven't showed Blunt Force Wisdom. I haven't showed them yet some of the funny shit that I got, because I like to see live reactions. But when we get to that point, it's definitely going to be a lot of fun. And then we got some stuff that's just like Marvin would do from Raising Canaan. We got some cathartic stuff that needs to be talked about. So
Speaking of which, you see they canceled Power, right?
yeah, which they're talking about the spinoff will be
That's
Origins.
prequels.
Yeah, prequel Origins. Which
See, this goes to my point. They never should have killed Ghost to begin with. They fucked up right.
well, I think that they're probably going to bring him back at some point.
They'll probably find a different. No, it seemed like he won too much money and they don't want to pay, so they've gone their separate ways.
Well, he was already on the set of Force, so just putting that out there.
Yo, that shit is crazy. Somebody already put the Shmuley butt plug into the chat. It's early.
Let's say, will this combo be more kosher than a Rabbi Shmuley butt plug?
Oh yeah, that's Wheezy. Yeah, he's that dude. He is.
Weezy's not gonna hold back on that.
He'll
go for the gay right out the gate. Yeah,
I see.
Yeah.
You know, that whole thing was crazy. The shit with Candace Owens and Shmuley, it was wild. Did you watch her on Joe Biden, by the way?
No.
Candace and Joe Biden?
Joe Budden.
Oh, Budden. No, I haven't yet.
Yes, that conversation didn't go how a lot of people thought. She didn't go extra crazy. She actually conducted herself in a way that a lot of the comments in the chat were saying that, oh, Candace won me over. Candace won me over. Oh, she was making valid points. You know, but I have a whole lot of other shit to say about that when we get there.
Okay, I was about to say Chris gonna bury the lead, just jump straight in. But I mean, yeah, however y'all want to do it, we can freestyle, we can switch it up. If y'all want to talk about that first, we can go into that. Streets is in the building. So
Streets.
So I don't know. Did I talk about the topics that we're going into for everybody or not?
No, you were still teasing.
I'm teasing, okay.
And then you just kind of like walked away.
All right.
Walked away from
it.
So let's come on and let's come
So
on and let's
spit-
bring it
spit on
right
your
back.
hand first. You got a little to make up for.
So of course we're definitely gonna as we've alluded to, we're gonna talk about the whole feud between Candace Owen and Shmuley, the fake ass rabbi. We're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna go in a little bit. We're gonna talk about a whole bunch of different angles on it. Shelly, what's up, Shelly? We're gonna talk about that. Also, we got some couple of different layers to it, so that's the reason why I held off for now. Something that I've kind of had on my mind to talk about, and it's a perfect time to talk about this. Having Steve and Teal on here. Also, we're gonna talk a little bit about Israel and its diamond mines. So we're gonna kind of unfold that, some of the correlation between some of the stuff going on in the Congo, Sierra Leone, some of these other areas, Antwerp. We're gonna talk about all that.
Yeah, we're
Then
going
I'll
to
also
we're gonna break news today and show the world that there's diamond mines in Israel.
then I definitely want to talk about the whistleblower for Boeing. There's a couple of things that we're going to talk about, and that's the reason I put on the thumbnail. Epstein? Well, I forgot the question mark, but I don't know.
I'll be right back.
I mean, does it need it?
Yeah, I mean, does it really? I mean, and so also I did want to talk about this TikTok ban, and it's kind of funny to me how I want to say out of the stories I just mentioned, and then also we're gonna hop in. Oh yeah. In fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to star your comment so I can come back to it, Hamza, because yeah, Floyd is a little embarrassing. But that all ties into that. Like 3 out of 4 of the main topics that we're gonna talk about all really just feed one within the other. But I figured I would start us off with, let's start off a little well, not light, but just opinions on something that's kind of a matter of fact. And I kind of want to hear from Steve and Teal. Big news has been going on about this high school fight that everybody's been going on and on about. For those who don't know, it was 15 teenagers, we'll say teenagers. And these two girls got into a fight. It escalated pretty ugly. One girl slammed the other girl's head on the concrete repeatedly. It turned racial from a lot of the people on the outsets making this a racial thing. And then it got weirder after that. And so, for those who don't know, and I'm not going to show the video, I'm not trying to get this video taken down, and I'm not trying to click and stop and edit and do all that, but I was just wondering, like, what's y'all thoughts on it?
Every
comes
once
to-
in a while, go ahead, T.
I think we're on the same path. I'm just happy, you know what I'm saying, ain't nobody get shot. You know what I'm saying? That's nice. That's good. I always knew the bitches to fuck with. I knew the bitches not to fuck with. And regardless of anything, when you go to school with people, you know who to fuck with and who not to fuck with.
Mm-hmm.
My homegirl, big ass, God rest her soul, she just passed away. She was a bitch I knew not to fuck with. I ain't have to kiss her ass because she genuinely fucked with me, but I knew I ain't never wanted to be on her bad side. Because there was a day where she woke up at 7:40 in the fucking morning. She got off the fucking school bus, walked down the hallway, grabbed the bitch by the back of her head, and bashed her shit in the locker door. She woke up with that type of energy. You feel me? And that was a great moment for me to go, you know what? I'm not fucking with Big S. Okay? In reference to that, bitch, you knew better.
Yeah.
Sorry, but you knew better. You've been to school with this bitch. Y'all already passed winter break. We going into spring. You seen if this girl got hands or not. You feel me? And not to mention this is not knockout drag out. We brawling. Whatever the beef was, that's what it is. But like, you knew better. Sometimes you
not to mention she 2 times bigger than the girl.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you even think that was gonna be sweet?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at. Look, I had a big ass bully. The bitch was huge in the 6th grade. I knew better.
Yeah.
You got it, Big Debo. You got it, Debo. Go ahead, Steve. That's my take on it.
Yeah, no, I mean, every once in a while, some shit really goes down at a high school.
Mhm.
Like, and I'm gonna guess that everybody involved has won multiple Darwin Awards before this. I know at least they've been reporting the girl who fuck stomped out other girl. Like that's that girl. And everybody just kind of knows that she's down to throw down, and that it's gonna get pretty gnarly pretty quick. I guess she's on camera bragging about stomping out some other bitch or something like that. If it wasn't this girl, it would have been a different girl. If it wasn't that day, it would have been a different day. Is it racial? Probably a little bit, but not nearly as much as everybody's making it out to be. And I mean, it's in the heat of the moment. She's probably gonna call her a white girl or something like that. But what, like, I don't know if you can really. I don't think that based on everything I've read about this chick and based on what I've seen, I don't think that she woke up that day and said, I'm gonna stomp out a white bitch. I don't think it was her motivation. I think a dumb white bitch did some dumb white bitch shit to get her dumb white bitch ass beat, not killed, beat, maybe, you probably resolve that in words, but not when you're fucking 16, 17 and that's what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, and the reason why I say I don't even think it was a racial thing per se, because I mean, both of the girls on both sides, like the white girl had her black homegirl who was trying to get her back, and the black girl who beat her ass had a white homegirl who was on her side. And so the first thing you notice when she first goes to the ground, a black girl starts hitting the black girl who puts her on the ground.
Yeah.
And then a white girl comes and hits that black girl.
That white girl wakes up to 150 fucking Instagram messages calling her a mud shark every day of her life from the time that she hit puberty. That's how, yeah. She's She's got the clothes.
And not to mention, like, for it to even get to a point of somebody putting hands and feet on you, you feel me? You already got called a cracker by then. Okay, we've already escalated it in. If I'm finna put hands and feet on you, if it's getting to the point that I'm about to choke you the fuck out, we already passed that. So it's not racist anymore, because those is like still in the realm of like your mama shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's me calling you bitch. Oh, sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying I didn't like to see that. You know, especially after the first time she slammed her head on the floor. It was like, all right, you put her down already. And I understand we was all in the heat of the moment. You know what I'm saying? I've been in plenty of fights outside, you know, and I fully understand. It was just unfortunate because at the end of the day, you are now in a legal situation. Yeah. On top of now having to live with the fact that you hospitalized and possibly damaged this girl forever. I didn't like the whole racial component of it coming from the same usual idiots, you know what I'm saying? The Twitter idiots who like to make everything. And you know, the sad part, present company excluded, like I said, some of them white boys are too concerned with everything else other than getting some ass. You know what I mean? So I question, you know what I mean, what their motives are, because they really just want to talk about black people. I guess that's why BBC is so popular on all the porn sites. You know what I'm saying? Because they are so concerned about everything black that happens. And it's it was just a fight, as you guys were mentioning. There was the black girl tried to push the other black girl off the girl initially. As soon as she got the girl on top of her, it was a black girl who who came and initially tried to push her. She got pushed out the scene, and we know what happened after that. Look, it was a stupid fight. I don't think it's based on racism. They showed the white girl. Now, look, this is how nasty these white boys are, right? They found the little white girl's Instagram page, and on it, clearly she likes black guys, black boys, right? So then they're like, oh, well, that's what you get. You live with the monkeys, you're going to get shitted on. You're going to slip on banana peels, all that kind of, stereotypical
Who taught them
stupid
this?
shit. Who knows?
4chan at this point.
I'll say,
Yeah.
speaking for a person who grew
Thank
up
you,
like,
Steve.
speaking for a person who grew up in the Midwest, like literally right there, Kansas, Missouri border, it's still a lot of, and when people try to say, oh, I don't see color, I don't see race, it's still a lot of racism. And I'm not saying that those girls had it within them, but the community that when I hear these jackasses on Twitter talking about that hop in the Dom Luke craze and it might be a bot that's putting this stuff out here a lot of times, pulling videos from 7 years ago and look at how these monkeys behave. Yeah, but there is still a heavy element of people who feel some type of way about black people, and they're looking for an excuse to let it out.
The last, I don't know, man, really few years, they've been hitting that shit so hard. They want that race war so bad.
Mhm.
They need everybody. And you know what I see all the time on IG and on Twitter, people going, does anybody remember in the 90s when like at least the kids had most of this shit figured out? Not necessarily all the adults, not necessarily the fucking structures themselves, but like,
Correct.
we all just
But
sort of
on a
walked around
person level.
not
Mhm.
giving a fuck. And everybody's crew was mixed as shit. And fucking, there wasn't real, like, it wasn't really, it was just who lived around you.
Yeah, bro.
Not fucking, it didn't have to be segregated. Fucking, like every gang in the fucking town that I grew up in had a couple of fucking white boys. As soon as the fucking, we didn't get Mexicans until I was like 17 in Anderson. They didn't show up. I was trying to explain this the other week or something like that. Like, it just, it just didn't happen. And,
No, you're right.
But you'd always have a good handful of white boys that fucking like Crips and Bloods and shit, and it was fucking, Indianapolis.
But their whole, everything about them, their whole ideology is so slayed. And they're really, at this point in time, with access to the internet and all this information that they claim to know about, when it comes to certain things, they're just totally blind on purpose. So you know what? They always like to talk about IQ and who rates who rates higher on the IQ chart. I would have to say, you know what? They should stop making that. They should stop talking about that altogether, because they show that they have no IQ. They've shown that they are in a deficit. They're deficient, as they say, because the things they say just really don't make any sense whatsoever. They're like, oh, look at the violence of the black people. And when I'm saying, I'm like, yo, y'all the most violent motherfuckers here and have been for a very, very, very long time, right? Like, you lead the league. You the all-time, you know how LeBron got 40,000 points and he's the all-time points leader in the NBA? Like, yo, dog, them people,
Y'all got the most bodies.
And it's not close. And again, when we say this, I'm specifically talking about the United States of America, its history, etc., because they love to do this. You say, yo, the system shits on black people, started with slavery. They be like, well, slavery existed. Arab slavery was the worst in human history. Why don't you go after the Arabs?
No.
We're talking about America, okay?
were the worst in history. They had a 1,500 year unbroken chain of human fucking slavery. The Koreans.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that, like, there's not a white delegation that isn't strongly in second place. Although I do think it's important to ask who on the boats. That might
Yep.
be something we should look at.
Which-
Well, the whole kit and caboodle, right? So I'm specifically talking about America, right? Because we don't live in like Korea. We didn't live.
Well, shit. Well, if you're gonna say that, you might as well say Western civilization.
Yeah, because we didn't live in the Ottoman Empire, right? I'm not talking about there. I'm talking about geographically where we all call home, right? Where we all four of us probably born in this place, right? So I was about this place, nowhere else. Because I love how they like to take the focus off. And I mean, even down to like beating kids, that's a vestige of captivity, right? Because you see the behavior in the other groups' children, they don't physically beat their children in the way that the descendants of that system beat their children. Obviously, things are changing, thankfully, and we're no longer doing it that way. But we know, the closer you get back to captivity, the more worse the beatings are. But they're unable to put those threads together, and it's on purpose. So that's why I say they are the weakest link. So I would offer them advice, but they're not paying. So
Yeah.
No,
I'll
I'm
let
pretty
me
sure.
if
I
you
know
want
people
to
that
talk
would
about-
pay. I know people that would pay for advice. You just gotta get the advice they want to hear.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Cat says the Jews claim slavery. I'll say the Jewish claim slavery from Exodus. But I mean, slavery, there's always been forms of slavery going back even further than that, because the Egyptians weren't the first ones who patented it. I mean, there was slavery going back to Babylon, Samaria, all kind of places before that. Whenever there's been ability for somebody to take power over somebody, somebody somewhere is doing it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But that kind of I'm trying to remember that conversation with that kind of reminds me of the whole DEI stuff, and with this
Oh my
whistleblower.
God.
It's kind of interesting because now we're finding out it's not DEI why that fucking door blew off. It's because
So Marcus,
corporate.
do you know that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Marcus, the problem with Marcus and Stephen Till, the problem with America, first and foremost, is DEI. If we do not deal with the scourge of DEI, I don't know how we're going to move forward as a nation. I hope you can hear the sarcasm in my voice, but the mention of DEI online is just absolutely ridiculous. And I'm like, so white people are making shit to put down white folks to build up minorities at the expense of white people in mass? Okay.
That's the most far-fetched shit ever.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
What's going on is that, well, what it really is is it's a way to take anything that may remotely be left of the white middle class and grind that down into abject poverty. And it's a way to make that white middle class turn into an impoverished, racist, reactionary community. And this is shit that, like, prominent white people, talk about like it's a good thing. Like anytime that, like, you're bringing a group down, it's a good thing. And that's the ass backwards retarded shit that, has a lot of this thrown off in the first place, is that in the name of diversity, equity, and inclusivity, you have to remove any of the HWHITE white
White people.
elements from it, because something that somebody's relative did was shitty, or something that the corporation that hired them without their input had originally sort of like modeled into the promotional structure. It's all nonsense. It really is. Having said that, if Captain LaShonda is behind the wheel of my Spirit Airlines flight, I am going back to drinking just for that flight. I'll quit when I land.
You're gonna, you know what? You'd rather walk, right?
I'm just, I look, it when LaShonda's the stewardess, I'm flirting. I am, but it's, you know.
Get on Delta then. You definitely gonna find a nice LaShonda on Delta.
No, he's saying
Well,
LaShonda's fly when she's walking the aisles. She's just not fly when she's sitting in that pilot chair.
It's
Well,
a different vibe.
Yes.
It's a different vibe altogether. I'm just,
I
yeah,
look
I'm
at
a little
the-
uncomfortable.
You'll get all the
Well-
black stewardesses at Delta.
Well, here's the
Yeah,
problem.
and that's,
You
yeah.
said flying Spirit. You're already fucked up if you fly in Spirit.
Hey man, it's I'm on a budget.
You already
Wow.
fucking. That's a motherfucking crapshoot if you fly in Spirit already.
My brother used to
So-
tell me flying Spirit is because you want to turn into one.
Oh shit!
That's what he would tell me. Yeah, he was like, if you flying Spirit, it's because you want to turn into one for sure. So that was the
They-
last day I ever flew Spirit.
If you
They
gotta
have
take
the
short
highway to
flights,
heaven
it's
and the airway to
an
heaven.
option if you don't have bags.
Okay.
If you don't have a
It's-
bag, you got to take a 2 or 3 hour flight. It's not that bad.
Yeah, you got to go short distances. That's like, yeah, they got to
Yeah.
go right. Boom, 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 boom. Don't try to take that bitch across the country though. You better.
Yeah, no. Then yeah. Then it's you grabbing ankles to get on the plane.
Yeah,
But of course-
oh,
But
no,
we're
go ahead.
gonna have to. It's gonna slide out. They're gonna try to slide it out on LaShonda. Of course, they're gonna have it looking real diverse and inclusive before they
No,
have to
but-
take a big hit.
But I
And
just
then
want
when they
this
make
energy to
everybody
come.
stop flying, they can blame all female the fucking Ghostbusters remake for
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking
man.
it up for everybody.
Well, see, I just want this energy to come back around because these conservatives, they love to jump all on the DEI for every fucking thing. And this goes back to that piece of shit Christopher Rufo, who has gave them their marching orders to blame DEI, woke, whatever on everything. And this is going back to the same mentality of everything is affirmative action. Any kind of and what it is it's just trying to make it so that you can't only hire your fucking brothers and cousins, okay? Let somebody else get a job. And we're not talking about dropping the standards. We're saying a qualified person can get a job. They just don't have to be fucking cool with you or decide to do some dirty shit in the back room to get the job. That's what we're talking about. That's all we asking for. Equal opportunity. We're not asking for you to fucking lower the bar. And my issue with a lot of these conservatives is they love to blame every fucking thing on this. When anybody with common sense knows the reason why you're having problems with these planes and the reason why you're having lawsuits with companies for everything under the sun, it starts and ends with the corporation itself at the tops, people cutting corners to make an extra buck. It's not because this whole white board decided that they just wanted to prop up a bunch of black people and a bunch of women and gays and all that. If you think that you're a fucking idiot.
You know, how else do you think that they report these record numbers of profits, right? And that makes you also too, that makes you think about like even human trafficking. People only think about trafficking for the sexual aspect of it, right? The sexual abuse aspect of it, let me say. Human trafficking happens in labor, probably, in hard labor, not so much, sexual abuse more than anything else. You know what I mean? If you look around the world and you see what's going on. So, people are just very short-sighted, Marcus, as we always discuss. You know what I'm saying? Like we're having this unmasking moment, as you know, as me and you discussed the other day, right? This is unmasking a lot. There's a lot of unmasking going on, and it's very blatant. And whether it's by accident or
You're
not,
gonna be
whatever.
racially sensitive if you walk onto an airplane and it's a 53-year-old Asian lady in the cockpit.
Ooh, Jesus.
Matter of fact, I think she gonna fly. I think that she gonna get us there quicker. She's like, we don't need to stop. We don't need to do nothing. I think she gonna get us there super fast. Actually, I'm like, yo.
But you live on the West Coast.
If it was a Russian Uber driver, I would agree with you, but you were just talking nonsense, Chris.
No,
if you live on the West Coast,
I'm thinking,
Chris,
look,
I gotta stop you there, Chris. I gotta stop you there because I used to all the time
movies, dog. I'm thinking like Michelle Yeoh, like she got skills or some shit.
I gotta stop you there because I used to sit there and be like, man, this is bullshit. I get tired of all these people always fuck with the Asians. Yeah, make it like Asians can't drive, and it's just fucking racist.
Oh no, it's terrible.
There's no reason. There's no reason for this shit until I moved to LA.
Move to LA.
Move to LA.
Move to San Diego.
And see if you still think that shit.
Okay. What the fuck?
All I gotta say, move to Southern California and see if you will still keep that same energy.
Move to Vegas, bro.
I fought hard on that front, defending hardcore.
No, I wasn't even defending anybody. Me, I was just thinking Shorty gonna be like, you know, she gonna be a master.
No, she's not gonna use her blinker in the sky. She gonna cut off other airplanes and not even do. Oh, my bad. She's just gonna cut off other planes. She might get there quicker, but she's gonna accidentally rub. She's gonna accidentally rub a wing or two,
dude.
You feel me? She gonna accidentally rub a nigga ring in the air, in flight. She accidentally found somebody. Like the shit wild.
She gonna tell you it was the mountain's fault.
Yeah, gang. You ain't see mountain moving way.
Exactly. So hey, I mean,
so it's like that. So it's like that on the West Coast for real. Huh?
My step grandmother is Korean.
Hey, I don't have nothing against Asian people. I don't. None. Well, Indians over there with y'all rape culture. That I got a big thing against that. But it's just the random Asian person. No, I'm telling you, for 30-something years of my life, I really just thought, man, they just all being racist out there. In fact, you will talk to Asian people out here that they see Asian drivers and they get nervous. So what does that say?
The most racist people I've ever met in my entire life were Korean fucking store owners. Most racist people I've ever met.
I up and buy.
Hands down. Every single Korea that was in that store, that they knew that they would just, I mean, egregiously racist. And look, man, I grew up in Central Indiana. You know, plenty of racism there. There was still a little Klan activity when I was even in high school. Doesn't hold a candle to the Koreans. It just doesn't.
I got my nails done. I had an appointment later on in the day. I needed to get my nail fixed before I went to this wedding. I had an appointment later that day. I walk in first thing in the morning. I'm like, excuse me, ladies. Them bitches ain't speak. They ain't even look my way. They said, what you want? I said, I need to get my nail fixed. I said, and that's the thing. My boy, he was outside, white boy. He was like, hey, T, before you go in here, I just want to let you know they hella racist. So act like you got money. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So I was like, yo, I need my nail fixed. And she goes, we too busy today. We can't do. And I was like, well, I got an appointment later on in the day. Can y'all just fix it while I'm at my pedicure appointment? She said, yeah, we do for you. They did not. The same girl that did for me, I had already tipped her for my pedicure. And I said, yo, do you mind fixing my nail? Do you have a problem with that? She said, no. It was right before Christmas. Right after that, I bought her kid, because she told me she had 2 kids, Christmas gifts. I bought her a gift card to Amazon and I dropped it back the fuck off. And I gave it to the bitch that didn't want to look at me in my fucking face. And I said, hey, can you give this to Kimmy? Thank you. Merry Christmas. Fucking dickhead.
Oh boy.
Mm.
Hey, that's
See,
great.
that's all-
Gregory Walker, man. Oh, that boy's a
Marcus,
friend.
you know, hey, did you guys see the side note? Did you guys see all the video game, the video game shit where they was complaining about making video games woke and, you know, changing players and all that other shit? Did you see that?
Yeah. And I was speaking on it amongst a couple of my friends because I game a lot. And I was going through my catalog and I recognized that Assassin's Creed started getting a little woke, I guess, in a sense, if you want to consider it that. I'm cool with it in a sense, but I remember
Origins was fire though.
Origins is the best one. Origins is the
Yes.
best one, in my opinion.
Yes.
I love the exploration of it. It was amazing.
Yes.
But like as we start getting into other ones, like Odyssey, started dibbling dabbling with the LGBTQ. You started noticing.
Oh yes,
it.
with
You feel me?
Cleopatra and all that other shit.
And now let's go a little bit farther. Now we got Valhalla. And Valhalla, even the
I
female
didn't play
character,
that one.
you can't tell if the female character a man or not, low key. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so then it makes me go back into like Cyberpunk. So I remember when Cyberpunk first came out, it was like
Okay.
I was on Cyberpunk's dick mainly because of Keanu Reeves being in the game, but like it was like the first game that you could do whatever you wanted to do. So if you wanted your character to be a tranny or hermaphrodite, yeah, titties up top, dick at the bottom, you can. You can even do up to if it's circumcised or not. That's how in-depth this game was. And it was the craziest thing. You can make it look like a man with titties, full thing, whole nine. And throughout the game, you would still interact with people sexually as this entity. So like I've already noticed the progress that games have started to get in reference to it. Witcher was wild too, in the beginning as well, when it started the whole make your character however you want. So as long as it don't make the gameplay shitty, I don't care. But once it starts affecting the games and stuff, I'm gonna have a problem with it. Ain't gonna hold
Yeah, you know, I don't agree with always forcing everything, right? I think you should let things happen naturally. And at first I looked at God of War, the way that they made Angrboda black and all that other shit, but they end up pulling it off and it worked. But ironically, they're complaining about being woke. The ones crying the most are the generation that first got online. These are the parents. This ties into what we were just talking about, right? The people who don't see color, those of them who had kids, those fucking badass kids in 2002, right? Who were just getting online, 2001, 2000, you know, getting online with the video games. They all knew how to say nigga though. They knew all the disparaging words and comments about black people. And these are the parents of these are the children of people who didn't see color. So whenever I hear that, I'm like, yeah, you're full of shit because your 8-year-old is in the room upstairs saying the most foul racist shit. You understand?
That's gaming
and
culture.
how they know that?
You get that though, right? That's gamer culture. Like
but I'm talking about.
I've sat in the garage. I mean, yeah, and I know what you're saying. I do. I know what you're saying and I understand what you're saying. But I don't think there's not like racism indoctrination camp. You know what I mean? And it's like I mean, I don't, as far as like, I think gamer chat rooms were from day one, regardless of who was in them, a cesspool of the most horrible things that you can say to each other because everybody was treating it basically like a locker room, except for it was people who didn't really spend a lot of time in a locker room.
Yeah, in like these are
but
not to mention. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, of course. We always gonna talk shit, right? All of us gonna, you know, we all got our bag of disses and insults for everybody. Like my bag is deep. I don't care where you from. I get you, right?
Yeah, and I see you can't stop riding on my fucking Cubans. Calm it down.
Oh yeah, no, they some of the worst ones here in South Florida, bro. I mean, Jesus Christ.
But it's not all of them. Come on, man. You gotta ride
Of course
always.
not all. No, no, I didn't say all. Of course
Come
not.
on,
I'm
man.
cool with some. I'm cool with a lot of them, but they will tell you, the ones I'm cool with, they will tell you, yo, my mother, my father, my grandmother, my uncle, my brother, my cousin, yo, they hate you. They will tell you, for no reason. But anyway, I just wanted to tie that together, that the don't see color people, their offspring, they see color a lot. So that was it. You know what I mean? I remember when I first used to get on. Steve, when did you first start playing online? 2000 or 2001?
I never really got into that, dude. So I was born in 78, right? And it was, I had the 16-bit Nintendo when it came out. That's the last video gaming system I ever bought or owned, because shortly afterwards I was playing sports and I discovered LSD, and then shortly afterwards I discovered pussy, and from there on out it was just and I was working for Renaissance festivals in 2002. I know I did. It wasn't online because you couldn't get a fucking internet connection in a Renaissance Festival campground. But I did play Vice City when it came out, like in a like where I was living behind the booth, and so I played that, but it wasn't online. But that's like the last time. Yeah, that and like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 this where I tapped out entirely. Yeah,
I got online in 05.
Yeah, see, I remember being online in like 01, 02, and it was just funny you'd be in, we'd be playing, what was that game we played? SOCOM Navy SEALs? So what's that, 02, 03, right? And we'd be playing the game, and you hear like, oh, we got black people in the room. Like, yo, why you say that? You ain't say that for nobody else. So it was just funny. You know what I mean? There's just something I wanted to point out.
Y'all got enough money to get internet and be online? I've heard that before. Like, damn.
Yeah, there's some.
This is.
That's harsh. That's fucked up.
Thank you. I've heard some wild stuff.
Look, no, and I'm not gonna act like it's not, horrifically racially out of pocket in the fucking gamer chat room. I guarantee you that at least 98% of those kids are probably not active racists in real life.
No,
of course not. No, course, no. That was the joy after you got over the initial like anger of not being able to like reach out and touch someone. Pause, right? When you realize like, oh, you know what? Talk your shit while you here. I'm gonna bust your ass in this game, and when you see me outside, you will never fix your face or your mouth to say anything that you said on this chat. So I'm good with that. So,
we'll probably buy you a beer.
Yeah.
That'd be really, I don't, and I understand there's fucking knuckleheads ever. And I did notice that, like, especially in the SOCOM era, because I had some dudes that I sold weed to that were like SOCOM nerds, and they all had the headsets and they had chairs that were facing different directions, and but they'd be in the same room and they're talking to other people, and like they were into it. But the anti-Muslim sentiment was, that I noticed at least, was like way heavier than your garden variety racism. Although I have, you get to you get to hear some pretty clever, new phrases that you may not have heard before. It's always fun.
Oh yeah, like the term "sand nigga." You know, I didn't
Ooh,
know
That
that
was
the
until
kinda
now.
old.
Pakistanis.
Yeah,
I did. That was the what was that? That was I think the first
I didn't hear
time
that in New
that
York. I was
Ayatollah
surprised.
Khomeini was an asshole that I heard that particular phraseology.
Yeah,
Maybe
you know,
91, maybe Desert Storm,
Yeah,
something like that.
I
I
heard it
mean, I
during.
heard
Well,
it.
of
I
course,
heard
I
it
heard it during the
in the
storm. My mom was
military.
in it. Me, I was about to say the same thing. My mom was in Desert Storm, so I heard it from. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
Marine they boot camp and deployment shirts had wild shit on them. If y'all ever want
Yeah.
to go through a deep dive on that, deployment shirts say some wild shit.
Yeah,
So,
and
they do. You know, it's just like your rabbi calling Candace nigga, right?
you be. I'm gonna choke you.
It's a
Well,
tease.
no, it's because
It's a
you
tease,
be
Marcus.
spoiling.
That's when you
You
say
be
stick
spoiling
around
stuff.
when we pick that conversation up.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was just
Also-
a that was just a
also,
jab. That was just a
I'll
jab,
tell you.
Marcus.
Chris is a headache to edit a show. Like if I want to make these into shorts, it's a headache. I mean, like,
Oh,
where do I
I'm
cut
coming.
this
Hold
at
on.
to add to? Oh boy, because the conversation just be going everywhere. Okay, so damn, we still haven't got to the whistleblower yet. That's what I was trying to lead up to with the DEI. About this whistleblower. And so I was saying that the DEI, you can't use that as an excuse because we're seeing now it's the corporations who are the ones who are intentionally not doing what they're supposed to. They're the ones who are cutting standards. They're the ones who are not following up with standards, just like we saw with the BP oil spill, how they didn't want to go and spend $500,000 on that baffle. It's the same situation here and what we're seeing. And so this guy was dropping all this information, and I had somebody bring this story to me when I came onto their show. Now, they didn't go into nearly enough details about it and not to know shit about it really at that point, because there's always whistleblowers. And I'm like, are they really going to go to the level to kill this dude because he's spilling the beans on how they fucking up shit? Well,
Yeah.
when you look
Yeah.
at the level of how much, because there's whistleblowers all the time that they ignore or they pay off to shut up. But when you look to the level of what this guy is saying, he's not just a guy who's just dropping a little, oh well, they're screwing up here. No, he's giving detailed examples on how they are completely destroying that's gonna get me sidetracked. Hold on. How they're damn it, fucking with me, man. How they're completely destroying quality control standards, which are going to affect people's lives. Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, I just want to be able to get to the topics we're going to look up. It's going to be 3 hours and we ain't hit shit.
Any idea how long it's been since I've seen the word prairie in front of the N word? Man,
That took
it
me
has been
out.
a
The timber one got
long
me.
time.
I never heard that. I'm over here dying,
Oh
yo.
my
I'm just trying to eat a
God.
slice of pizza, but that
But-
shit is fucking hilarious.
But no, you're absolutely right. So I definitely am happy you even brought this up. I wanted to build on this. So a mutual friend of mine, her husband actually is a mechanic, you know what I'm saying, in a corporate mechanic in a sense for a specific airline in the United States. And even him and I, you know what I'm saying, we're talking amongst ourselves in reference to his job because, you know what I'm saying, I was just getting to know him. And he just explained so much to me in such a short time, and then for this to come in almost like in tandem with what he had spoken about before. Yeah, it's always been fuck quality control with these things. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It is insane the things that break all the time. I watched back to back how United flights had back to back issues between an engine exploding mid-flight where they had to do an emergency landing to the wheel falling off, you know what I'm saying? It's just wild shit. Just wild shit. So no, this
landing
motherfucker
gear
said,
issues.
yes, this motherfucker came out and was like, "Hey, just want to let y'all niggas know." every time y'all get on a flight, we be gambling. Okay, we be gambling on it. My bad. Like, no, you can't just be like that, and they're gonna be like, it's okay, we gonna let him live. Let him live. Hell no, that motherfucker got quit. Get out of here.
Yeah, because when I was hearing about it, the way dude was like kind of dropping the information, it wasn't going into like the severity of what this dude is talking about. And then when I saw the video, the plant video of them walking around and talking to the people, and it's one thing to be like, oh, would you fly on this plane? When you ask a question vaguely like that, that can be, well, I don't fly on planes, period. So hell no. Or, I ain't got money to fly. So, but when you start getting to later on in there and you start hearing people saying, no, I wouldn't fly on this shit because it's fucking unsafe as hell. I mean, they bring back defective parts and we put the defective parts back on the plane. And our supervisors tell us to do that shit. And I have a family member who worked for Boeing for like 20 something years. And it would have never occurred to me that shit like this was going on. And then you factor in when the question is asked, would they do some shit like this? We are dealing with a company that is a weapons manufacturer also. Killing people isn't a far stretch. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And not saying this could be ulterior motives, because I mean, I'm always a worst case scenario. I watch entirely too many cartoons. So in my Ninja Turtle kind of like, you know what I'm saying, type evil villain type shit, like if you can make it look like an accident, the easier it is to make it really look like an accident. You know what I'm saying? So if we just out here accidentally killing civilians and we can kind of like sweep it under the rug, you know what I'm saying? Oh no, this happened. Damn, the door flew off. It's crazy.
Well,
hey, Chris, sit down. Don't worry about eating on cam. All the big time streamers eat on cam all the time.
All right, I'm done. I'm taking my last bite.
Man, you ain't got to stop your food, man. Eat your food, man. Relax. Ain't nobody tripping. But what was you saying?
That these cutting corners is like, that's American as apple pie, as they say. You know what I mean? Like, you're not making no money having to reorder parts, pay for shipping, pay for any upcharges, pay for the service. There's all these costs that go along, with operating a business that a lot of people aren't familiar with. And, these pennies add up over time. And like you said, Marcus, their whole MO is to kill people. So if they kill a couple people on a couple domestic flights, oh well.
Well, something also that I had to factor in. I mean, this isn't like Procter and Gamble, like, oh, well, it shows that your fluoride in your toothpaste is fucking killing people, or okay, we'll just sue it out. I mean, we'll toss them a little bit of money to shut them up. Boeing is, and the airline industry in general is already having a hit of confidence because of scandal after scandal after scandal. And so this could actually result in a lot of money being lost from executives, the type of shit that he's saying. And I've even heard, I can't remember which airline it was, but one of the airlines is fighting to keep their doors open as it is. And so you go back to what happened. Well, before the Alaska Airlines, what was that one what was it like? All this shit was jacked up.
M272, the one. Oh, I thought you were talking about one that disappeared.
No. I'm not talking about one to disappear, but that's I guarantee you the disappearing flights. This is all falling into this. The sensors that are not picking up shit, the transponders not working properly. I mean, when the flight makes it there, people don't notice the problems that the pilots and the air crew had getting them there. They don't know about that door that was a little loose, but it didn't pop all the way open. They don't know about the flotation devices that if they had to use them wouldn't have fucking worked. They don't know about the airbags, not airbags, whatever the fuck they're called, that drop down that you breathe through. I'm blanking on it right now, but
The
Oh,
mask.
the oxygen mask.
oxygen
Yeah.
masks. They don't know if your fucking oxygen masks are going to work because you're not put in a situation where they have to be used. And he was talking about all of these things that I mentioned not working and being in a circumstance of if that got into that situation, a lot of people are going to find out the hard way that shit is fucked up. And so I think what he was bringing on is a reason why, yeah, a company which an industry in general that's had some shaky stuff going on, that has already a loss of confidence. I could see how they would want to get somebody out of the way who's bringing up these kind of things because it can be detrimental to their bottom line.
And speaking of planes, I saw your boy Donald Trump earlier today. He was on the runway
Oh Lord,
taxiing to get out of here. I didn't know where he was going, but I saw the plane was on the move. You know, I was on the road and I just happened to look. Now, you know, I saw a couple police on the road that I was like, there's more police over here. So then I looked, you know, over and I said, okay, this man he's lining up on the runway, getting ready to head off to wherever he was going.
mm-hmm.
That's how I know when he's in town.
Cat in the cat in the chat. Cat in the chat. It is really on to something there because I don't know. I was gonna bring this up while you were talking, Mark. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't heard of a single private jet having any of these problems. And we talk about this on AM Wake Up a bunch, but like commercial airplanes are like cruise ships. Every moment they're not in the air, it's costing
being
the
worked
company
on.
money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so they get the same kind of maintenance that cruise ships get. That's what Teal was talking about with the, yeah, I guess it'll make it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Did Donnie put speed tape on it? All right, great.
Yeah, I think the Gorilla Glue.
Or you got a bunch of people in the workplace saying, "Hey, did you fix that? Yeah, I fixed it. It's good to go."
No, it's absolutely right. I got a friend that works at a factory where they build engines, and he tells me all the time about horror stories about it, which is people that are lackadaisical, half-assed, and lazy as a bitch, just don't care, hand tightening shit, all types of wild stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lack of quality control, a lack of quality assurance. You know what I'm saying? People don't want to work either. You know what I'm saying? That whole workforce shit is out of hand. Just the workforce is trash. And if you can cut corners, pay less, you know what I'm saying, and still work motherfuckers like, you know what I'm saying, they getting paid like they used to be, knowing the cost of living, food inflation, house inflation, all this other wild shit. They know what time it is, bro. They know what they're doing. Parts is expensive. That embargo shit was crazy as a bitch. They still hurt because they couldn't get parts in. You feel me? Like there's so much they trying to fucking play on like on the back end. They trying to play catch up like a motherfucker. And the best way to play catch up is to fucking lowball people.
Yeah. And like, and when I hear like some of this stuff, I hear like to some people, maybe who don't work in like kind of like mechanical type fields might not understand the severity and gravity of some of the shit that they're saying in there. Like, I heard something about like they were using like Dawn dishwashing soap in place of lubricant. And I'm like, when the weapon systems and stuff that we worked on in the military, it's so specific that you need the particular grease or oil that you're using for the maintenance on that. Using the wrong one could devastate that equipment and it's not operable. Now you factor in something like a commercial plane that's supposed to carry people, and you swap that out, not even with another lubricant, with dishwashing soap. I mean, it's not like just they were kind of like, well, okay, well, I need a screw in here, so let me use this bolt instead. No, they're like completely like putting this shit together with bubble gum and like paper clips. Like they are like, extremely bad, the level of how bad they're doing this stuff. And it's all to serve corporate profits. And to bring up what Steve was just saying, You only hear a private plane drop out of the air when it's a random celebrity, a random person part of a political family, but you don't hear that with a CEO of a corporation. You don't hear that with anybody on their executive board. You don't hear that with any world leaders. Why is that? Because we know the quality control and the level of maintenance, the level of what's required for you to operate on this, and the quality control is at the level where all this shit should be at. But for some reason in this society, it's perfectly allowed for this not to be a big deal. I don't know.
If anybody asks you something,
You know,
I just.
for
Oh, thank you, Chris. I was just saying, like, when he brought up the Dawn soap in reference to like lubricant and stuff like that, like, I don't know how many people really watch Blunt Force Wisdom, but y'all know I have a lot of masculine traits. So I changed the oil in my car. I can fix the alternator in the car. You know, quick, but still learned tasks mechanically. You can't put the wrong oil in your car. Well, that bitch ain't gonna work. That's just in your car. You feel me? That's just the wrong viscosity of a brand of oil. You know what I'm saying? We talking about dish soap. Y'all ever thought about putting Dawn, something that is anti-grease? Dawn literally rubs grease off baby ducks. And you're using that in place of something that is supposed to be a grease.
Yeah, it's supposed to be lubricated.
It's supposed to lubricate. So what the fuck you gonna use the anti-lubricating mechanism? That's the what in the Mojo Jojo? That is the most opposite shit ever. That's evil villain shit, bro. That's evil villain shit. Go ahead, Chris. I just wanted to talk about the Dawn soap and how it.
Yeah, because a comment in here, Earl of Laurel, he says not disagreeing. Well, no, back up. Damn, y'all got y'all. He said y'all gonna hate me, but Dawn is a degreaser. Yeah, petroleum-based lubricants break down rubber, just like your rubber and Vaseline, and that's a good point to bring up also, because not only does the Dawn not lubricate, it also works. You know, it works against it, so you're possibly eroding very, very important parts to cause the damage.
You're causing friction. You want to fire? You want to blow some shit up?
Yeah. I mean, and especially you start and a lot of people might think, like, you see a little O-ring and I don't know, you leave that on the coffee table, your girlfriend and wife might be like, oh, a hair tie. But this thing, that one little tiny little O-ring might be extremely important to making sure this works. Perfect example, when I was in the military, we had a torpedo shoot that went wrong. And you know why that went wrong? Because somebody didn't clip a cotter pin on the end of it. So it didn't open up this tiny little port that lets salt water get into a battery to kick on the engine, and literally wasted millions of dollars because of that. That's how important each little thing can be in a situation like this. So I think not enough attention has been looked at into really diving down into this situation that's going on with this whistleblower. And there is a lot of justification when you really think about what the information and the quality of the information that he's talking about, how big of a deal it actually is.
You know, it's usually people want to jump on conspiracy theories and, you know, they want to shit on them or just say that you're a conspiracy theorist. I shouldn't listen to you. But again, we have another instance in which a conspiracy is right in front of us. It is not a theory. It is not my thought. It is not my opinion. I'm watching what happened. John Barnett, rest in peace, was the Boeing employee or quality manager for Boeing. I think he worked there 2 decades or something like that. Somebody could correct me if I'm wrong in as far as his tenure goes. But this man showed up for a deposition. He told his people, like I tell my people, if you ever hear a story about me dying and they said I commit suicide, it's a lie. I would never commit suicide. I'm not into that. You know what I mean? That's not my thing. So He told his people that, and yet he ended up dead in the hotel of all places. Again, who stood to benefit the most from this man dying?
I
So
thought
this
it was
guy
in his
said,
car.
and it was probably a rental.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it's
mean,
probably a rental.
well, another thing, like just doing any kind of investigation, police work. And I know we don't love the cops, but just saying in general, in investigation, if you're investigating a death, whether it is natural causes, suicides, actual murder, people who have something going on important that they feel passionate about typically don't kill themselves.
Mhm.
Somebody doesn't be like, you know what, I got this whole trip planned to Aruba and I have an itinerary and everything. Oh, now I hang myself the night before, unless
Yeah.
some kind of extenuated, some kind of crazy circumstance has to come down to alter what's going on. And it's just like the situation of a whistleblower. You got to look at a whistleblower almost the same as a revolutionary. A revolutionary is fighting for a cause, and they might die for that cause. That doesn't mean that they're about to kill themselves in the midst of trying to work on that cause. And that's something that I think we should all just keep in mind. Yes.
And again, he went there to test. He went there to give his testimony, for lack of better. He went there for the deposition to tell the truth. And of course, they didn't want that on the record, and they took him out. Again, we're very passive people. We like to talk shit, but we're very passive people because we see this shit like this, and it's like, hey, what you gonna do? I guess you just have to accept it, move on. I mean, it's really crazy.
Yo, I got something like change of pace, after that story, because I think we're all in agreement on that, and I think we hit all the points, and hopefully people are digging and looking into this more, and don't let this situation just kind of get swept up under the rug like they prefer these situations to do. But I got something that I want to share with y'all. Got to break up the pace from a tense thing, and I'm really curious to hear what Chris gonna have to say on this, because I already know this is gonna get interesting. I want to wait for Steve to come back on this, because some interesting news that came out of Texas. I really think y'all should pay attention to this. Actually, Steve probably have heard of it, so we can go on ahead and hop into this this little
What the
story.
great state of Texas doing now?
Hey, you already know.
What they doing?
Oh shit.
Texas.
Oh.
Pornhub. Google
Oh
searches
yeah,
for
now we get to talk
VPN
about sex and
skyrocketed.
porn.
VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. Yesterday, the adult entertainment website cut off access to Texas over an objection to the state's age verification law, which requires online pornography distributors to use age verification methods to ensure all users are 18 or older. Internet company SlashGear collected data which showed over the past day, searches for Texas VPN increased by over 1,700%. Searches for "Is porn banned in Texas?" showed a more than 3,000% increase. There was also a 1,600% increase in searches for "How to access Pornhub." And Google searches for "free VPNs" increased by 450%. The trends also showed the Austin Metro was the most popular area in Texas for Google searches related to VPN.
So Texas, so what is it? It looked like the state of Texas asked, the state of Texas told, the porn sites, hey, they got to be able to enter an age. You have to verify by age at least. You have to take this one minor step and just at least put a date of birth in there that's greater than, what was it, 18 years old. I mean, look, that's already easy enough to get past. The fact that Pornhub took the stance of, oh, we're not going to add this age, we're not going to add this, this speed bump to the road to getting to our videos. No, we're just going to ban the whole thing. This is weird behavior. But, what do you expect from a rabbis and them people who own this stuff? Like, this is typical behavior.
Yeah, I just noticed it's kind of interesting. Well, if you think about the area where this is, most of these searches are coming out of Austin, college town. Now, Chris was talking about go out and get women, but obviously they rather play video games and do something else. So
Yeah.
I just thought this was just interesting to kind of go along with that. And I'm wondering, what's your thoughts on this, Steve? Because I know
That's
not
why they
that
gotta
long
buy
ago.
so many remote controls.
Yep, I know not that long ago you had a guest on and you were going into this and I think it was Kat brought up about the child porn stuff going on. So I was
Yeah,
kind of wondering your thoughts.
that lady's name is Arden Young.
Yeah.
And she used to be on the TV show Modern Family.
Mm-hmm.
And she's out. Fuck. Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay. She's out here like exposing Hollywood now. And so what she did is her and another dude have a company called Sound Investigations.
Mm-hmm.
Is my internet really fucking up right when I'm talking about this?
I can hear you.
Or is
I can
that
hear
you
you.
guys chopping?
You're just trying to you were getting a little blurry, but we can still hear you.
Okay, cool. It's it's all like it's moving all super choppy on this end. All right. Okay. At any rate, no, this is something that like she's been pushing for, but a lot of people have been pushing for a very long time, just as a bare minimum. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you Teal knows, but like I'm definitely not team porn. I don't, I don't think it does much anything good for anybody. And it's just if it makes it more people who have already been caught out like doing sex trafficking and doing child trafficking, good. If it makes the freaking smut rabbi's day worse, I'm okay with that. I really am. I don't the 90, I don't know, whatever percent of it is mostly fucking trafficked shit anyway, like or revenge porn or whatever. And fuck all that, dude.
Or
Fuck
step
all that.
parents and stepsisters.
Yeah,
and
yeah. Well, and Arden was telling
That shit
us
is so
she's
weird,
got
bro.
this dude. She's got a dude on camera, Chris, who is fucking flat out saying like we're pushing the trans agenda in straight porn. We're pushing the gay agenda in straight porn. We're like all these ads pop up for this shit on these guys. That's what he's sitting there telling her, and like it's deliberate because it means more clicks overall.
Jeez.
Okay.
Variety's the spice of life, right? So if they can get somebody hooked on a whole new genre or fucking 50 just based on that ad, then they're stoked because what they want is your time.
Mm-hmm.
So Virginia is one of the first states that have the age requirement on Pornhub. Okay.
Mhm.
So how is it okay? They upheld it in Virginia, but they banned it in Texas. Why Texas? It's doing just fine in Virginia. Why just Texas right now? They've had that shit since last year. Virginia's had that shit since last year.
Mm.
And it's crazy because when I got here, they were doing a whole bunch of like really, you know what I'm saying? They're passing laws. And the main thing I care about is marijuana out here because it's weird. They got weird laws out here. I wish I could really help them after living in Colorado. But that was on the docket. And I'm like, are y'all serious? And sure the fuck enough, yeah. They upheld that shit. Pornhub got an age restriction in Virginia. So then I hear about this and I'm like, well, why just Texas? What Texas got going on?
Seems like
there's a whole bunch of other states.
Seems like they're trying to play politics given what you just said. You know, I didn't know that, so that was good. Thank you, Teal, for putting that information out there. And,
there's something like there's something like another like 16 or 17 states that all have age verification legislation coming up. It's Texas got to theirs is what it is, because they tried it in like Montana. There's a handful of states that are getting ready to adopt it. They just haven't yet. Yeah, they're playing politics to whatever degree they can, but that's the only way they're going to get any of it put through in the first place. I don't know. I figured the teenagers in Texas are clever enough to get on a VPN anyway.
Goddamn right.
Yeah.
You're gonna
And that's
see
what it looks
a
like it's coming.
giant spike in downloads of Tor.
Hey, let's go.
I don't know. It seems like this, like some of the stuff that Teal was talking about with I guess creating those different characters or whatever. Because I wasn't in the gamer phase much, you know. I mostly opted for sports more, and then when I did play video games, I wasn't online, so yeah, I don't even know what y'all talking about much on that. So I just sit back and listen. I'm definitely not a gamer. I will get destroyed by an 8-year-old in most video games. So but I did remember hearing something years back about how they try to put these different things and try to experiment about these things through different digital stuff, whether that is some kind of form of AI. And then not that long ago, Steve, you and Chris were talking about, you know, and we brought it up too after you guys talked about it. The what are those goggles? And so it's
Oculus.
a fusion, the Oculus, and that fusion of that, and then there's porn stuff, and it seems like there's a concerted effort with all of these things being pushed. And so it's good that we definitely talk about this, because I think there's something going on now. Of course, I have my theories, but I just wanted to, you know, tie this together and see what y'all think about it.
You have seen like Apple has their goggles coming out.
Yeah.
The Oculus has theirs. I think you, Steve, sent me the AirPod measuring brain activity on the next go round of theirs. I mean, they've been slowly but surely putting it on us. If you get smartwatches, now they can monitor your sleep. They can tell you when you stop breathing. They can tell you when you cough. You know what I'm saying? They can tell us when you're not drinking enough water. It's crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Slowly but surely. And so, yeah, I'm waiting for, you know, Minority Report to start popping up.
Well, they were even talking about they were calling it literally biohacking not that long ago, about regulating all these different things, dealing with your blood pressure and sleep and all that stuff like you're talking about. Even yourself, without a smartwatch, your cell phone will tell you, because it noticed, okay, you haven't touched the phone in this amount of time. More than likely they were sleeping, and it's deducing all that.
Yeah.
You know, also too, this is just another it's just another, like, how can I say it? It's another useful thing to collect data for their AI systems, right? Because all of this data will be logged, sent somewhere, computed, and it's all going to end up, you know, helping to build their perfect artificial intelligence, whatever programs they're working on for the next generation.
Ain't they gonna put it back in my essence, Steve? Ain't that what they said they was gonna do? Put my AI essence.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought this guy up, because I don't think a lot of people are familiar with this cretin. And I keep talking about one of these days we're gonna have to do a deep dive and just really talk about this dude. But yeah, Steve put this in, and so I'm gonna cue this video up. Or did you want to give any kind of lead in, or just play it and respond?
Directly related to what we were just talking about, like almost word for word.
How Jewy is this man?
Yuval Noah Harari.
Yeah,
that hairline let me know.
He literally still
you want to
got
know something?
He has a heavy accent too.
Can I tell you something right before we play the thing? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
go
T's
ahead.
racist comment for the day. T's racist comment for the day.
Well,
Evil people go bald so early in the game, okay? And ugly bald too, okay? Good people got good hairlines. Evil people go bald, okay? Look at that
it's not
hairline.
necessarily true, but
The most
you know,
evil people do. I'm just saying,
the
if you're
most evil
for
people
sure.
are bald by like 23. You're right. You're
Thank
right
you.
about
And they
that.
gotta fuck, and that's what they end up with. This guy, man, look, they evil.
Well, I feel
geniuses are always
obligated.
bald.
I have hair under here. Okay, I have hair. I feel obligated to say that now.
Just saying.
I was born with a fucked up hairline, but I do have hair. So, yeah, let me mute up so I can play this.
I think the big battle in this regard in the 21st century will be between privacy and health will win. Most people will be willing to give up their privacy in exchange for much better healthcare based on 24 hours monitoring of what's happening inside their bodies. I guess very soon people will walk around with biometric sensors on or even inside their bodies and will allow Google or Facebook or the Chinese government or whoever to constantly monitor what's happening inside my body, so that, you know, the day the first cancer cell starts to multiply and spread, somebody at Google or at the health authority will know and will be able very easily to nip the cancer in the bud. And the day that a flu epidemic starts, they immediately know, oh, a flu epidemic is starting, and they know who are the people who are carrying it, and they can take very effective and quick and cheap action to prevent it. So the promises are enormous. Just think of, I don't know, a place like North Korea, people walking around with these biometric bracelets, and you walk into a room and you see a picture of Kim Jong-un on the wall, and something happens to your blood pressure that the algorithm correlates with some bad emotion like anger, and that's the end of you.
That's the end of you. Fitting.
Yeah.
Y'all know what
Oh.
show he talking about, right?
Hooray!
I'm just saying, I seen that show when they had them little things in them and they boop and they blowing niggas up and shit. In college and stuff. Yeah, college.
Yes,
Just saying.
We'll put kill in everyone. And
Kill
they'll
switch and
love
everybody.
it.
Kill switches and everybody. Like, get out of here.
And that's the guy who's the atheist spiritual advisor for Klaus Schwab.
Well, he's not an atheist
He's transhumanist, but
because I remember he's like, well, I prefer a God where I could just do whatever and I can do what I want to do according to my will. And I do believe there is a spiritual deity that does that. And he kind of alluded to some people, you can call them whatever you want, but he alludes that he would like to go to the guy who let you do whatever the hell you want to. And if you want to do some fucked up shit to people, he's not going to be that upset with you either.
we call him Murray.
Yeah, it's Murray.
Hibachi down there? They got
His
Hades.
name's Murray. Yes, our Dark Lord.
Dark Lord Murray.
That when you said that Murray, that reminds me of that Ben Shapiro little video that they made where they took that song he was singing and next to the I don't know, did you see that video? Where they did like a cartoon version of him and he's like singing this song where he's like floating off the ground with like glowing red eyes and shit.
Ooh,
Okay.
all right.
I don't know. Maybe if we get into something, I'll dig that video out and throw it up. But this topic though, it all ties together, and you know, talking about for those who not familiar with him, he's a big time figure with the WEF, and a lot of his ideas they are real big on implementing it. And so it's no wonder that you have the Elon Musks of the world talking about what does he call his new thing, that brain chip?
Oh, Neuralink.
Neuralink.
Well, the specific new one that is called the Neuralink, it was I can't remember what it's called, but telepathy. Yeah, because it's supposed to be able to use your brain to be able to operate limbs and computers and things like that. And so this is all tying into it. And for those, I don't know if y'all seen it or not, because y'all know I'm big on watching programs and stuff. The show Years and Years, which at least if you haven't seen it, look up the viral clip where it's a girl Bethany and she's showing how she has her phone in her hand and she can snap to like hang up, and then throughout the show she's getting more and more into the digital stuff. So it's showing that fusion, if you will, of all of this technology that the people like the WEF have been talking about, and the Elon, and for those who only think about Elon Musk and Neuralink and all that,
That's the only motherfucker that's talking about it.
He's the only one talking about it. China and South Korea and
Brazil.
Japan, Brazil, all of these people have been implemented. Elon is actually behind. Oh, Upgrade. If you guys have not seen Upgrade, thank you, Chris, for bringing it up. It is a great movie about this shit.
I say Brazil because I don't know if people have been paying attention to the pods that they have been creating. They have them in Arizona, but they kind of, I think if I'm not mistaken, they started in Brazil. I could be misspeaking, but I know the country starts with a B. But nevertheless, they got wombs, external wombs, where they growing babies. Labs where they growing babies. They growing humans already, bro. Like, get out of here. They're growing babies. It's insane.
And we talked about that with remember the pods that they were talking about where they could try to gene engineer your child, and okay, well, you want the kid with a blonde hair, blue eyes, and okay, well, we see that in your family hypertension runs high, which is kind of BS. Hypertension does run high. Your diet runs high and keeps everybody on hypertension. But let's say, oh well, we see that leukemia runs in your family. Well, we can gene engineer and edit out that leukemia aspect. Everybody in your family, nobody's over 5'8", so we can gene engineer and make that kid, their maximal height 6'2".
We can smudge out the chromosome for the daggone Down syndrome. Okay,
exactly, that kind of stuff. And anti-globalist says playing God will never turn out well. It definitely won't. Kind of reminded me of City of Men. That's what happened in that movie.
Yes.
Man, I can go on and on about that stuff.
Movie.
Yes. Oh, see, we're gonna have some fun on our upcoming venture. That's all I'll say for now. And for those who missed the beginning of the show, y'all find out later on, or probably watch back at the beginning, and y'all see we were kind of hinting at some things that are coming. Now we're talking about Gattaca. That's another thing.
Marcus, have you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I wasn't saying anything.
No, I was going to ask it. I don't think we put it in. I don't think we discussed it, but I did want to bring up your. Am I allowed to say, since we're mentioning social media, am I allowed to say the name of the one that is? What is it? What's that shit? The name that shall not be said or spoken?
Voldemort. He who shall not be named.
Yeah. I never seen it. I just know about it. But are we talking about that yet?
Well, we're not streaming today. Today I switched it up and I put us on Facebook instead of X. So we're not on X anyway. So go on ahead.
No, I was wondering if what your opinion is on TikTok.
Well, yeah, that's the next topic, I guess. I mean, well, that's one of the topics. So yeah, I guess it's a good time for us to hop in on the TikTok.
Fuck TikTok.
I honestly think but then this will just dovetail later on to another topic that we're going to talk about. I don't know. Should I go first, or do y'all want to go first? Who wants to go first?
Fuck TikTok.
I'll go first real quick and just say this, right? And just make sure you inform all of your family members and friends that who bring it up to you, because obviously this is going to come up in conversation. Just remind them that this discussion has absolutely nothing to do with China, and that's it. When
No,
they
it
ask
doesn't.
you why, and when they ask you who does it have to deal with, you could tell them, I'm not going to tell you because you're not going to listen
No,
anyway. I'm
I
not
mean,
going to say, I'm
we're
not going to waste my breath. But it
well,
has
that's a
nothing to do
good
with that.
teaser. That's a good teaser, but we're gonna get into the
Mm-hmm.
reasoning. We're gonna get into the reasoning, but that's a good teaser. Good startup, Chris. I would. This is one of the things I want to shoot down first before we get into the reason. I want to dispel the
Exactly,
reasons
John.
that they give. I want to dispel that first. What's up, John? Good to see you, bro. When they say, "Oh, well, China can take your information and do this," for one, all of these companies are taking your information and selling it. All of them are doing it. Everybody's doing it. Also, tell me, what the hell can China do with my information that's going to be a national threat? What can they do? Not a damn thing. And if you're talking about somebody who's military or who's hiding government secrets, when I had my clearance in the military, they already tell you, stay away from this, stay away from that, stay away from that. So that would be your commanders up the chain of command. That would be up to them to tell you to stay away from this and that and whatever. But when you're trying to ban it for what, 330, 350 million people, or force sell it because your excuse is you believe China can use it for ammunition to do what? What is somebody who works at Starbucks? What is their fucking information? How is that going to harm national security? That makes literally no sense.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the excuse which you're hearing bipartisan support for this. And also keep in mind, how many things can any of us name that are of any kind of major consequence where it was pretty much unanimous consent on the bill bipartisanly? That was a good thing outside of a post office.
No, I always like to, at this point, trot out one of my favorite George Carlin quotes, which is bipartisan just means that a larger than normal deception is taking place.
Mm-hmm.
Most
That's a good
definitely.
one.
I hate TikTok because they be banning me, but it is what it is. But I get banned off a lot of shit. So
well, the thing about TikTok, honestly, is TikTok don't really let nobody who's really get out there. They're gonna cut you off at the knees before you get going, or shadow ban you anyway. So they're gonna let you only get a certain, like, you'll watch a video on TikTok. That's the reason why I don't hardly ever put nothing on TikTok anymore, even though I have one. It lets you for about like 30 minutes, like just run wild, and it suggests you, and then it's like, all right, Cap, that's enough of that.
Yep.
And so you're gonna get your set 300, 200, 300, 400, whatever your level is, 1,000, whatever they capped you off, and then it just hits like anti-lock brakes instantly. It's worse than anti-lock brakes. It's like a train. It's like train brakes.
Marcus, I can't wait to talk about this. This is Steve. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Marcus and Chris, for letting me be up here. This is my realm. So check me out.
No, you good.
Okay. So TikTok really ain't really been bothering me. Like, me and them, we ain't really seen eye to eye. And I got a mouth on me. Okay. So prime example of why this has nothing to do with China. So Meta owns Facebook and Instagram. Okay. Instagram has now created Reels, which is a piggyback off TikTok because they some biting ass niggas. Y'all some bums. Now,
don't forget Threads.
Okay, and Threads, okay? Twitter. So I loved Snapchat. And if you watch enough of our show, you know how sad I am about losing my original Snapchat. Because it was unregulated. It was crazy. It was like Backpage for social media. So I had to go to Instagram.
But you know about Backpage.
Hey. I told you we gonna rap. Y'all
Chris,
gonna find out about me.
if you
Steve wouldn't have
haven't
brought me
tuned
for no
into
reason, y'all.
I
if you
know.
haven't
Brought me
tuned
for no
into a
reason.
single episode of Blunt Force Wisdom,
You better
And
check. You
this
better do your homework about me.
just goes for everybody who's watching on the YouTube audience. You're gonna have to like put on your big boy, big girl panties. You have to get over to Rockfin or go to Rumble because they will not let us air this show on YouTube. Sugar and I, before Tia was even part of the show, tried a couple of times. It instantly nuked. No, sir, not allowed to do it. And that was we've sent taught Sugar a couple of new words. You'll hear the word Geraldo a lot instead of a different word. But yeah, it's fantastic. It is, and all of this and more is it is a bastion of illumination and also cannabis intake.
Yes. So okay. So now I'm on Instagram, right, guys? No Snapchat. Oh my sugar. Whoa, I lost so much money, y'all. Whoa. So I'm on Instagram now more frequent.
Drawers, you
I get some
weirdo.
good
What are you
hee-hees and
wearing?
ha-has, all types of good stuff, right? I like to make jokes. I think that dysfunctional girls make the best jokes. Okay. And I do really good jokes. It's funny. People always say, get on something.
It's true.
Cool. I get shadow banned a lot because my mouth is too reckless. And Instagram don't like it. Cool.
Oh, yeah.
They are
Well,
officially
I mean, we
taken
know about
away.
that.
Yeah, you know, they officially will mute any free speech at all whatsoever. TikTok has a tendency of letting some shit slide through. You can see a congressman getting tased all the way up inside of the gag Senate. You know what I'm saying? Getting tagged on TikTok. And that shit will circulate so fucking fast because of those clips. You know what I'm saying? Instagram, they're not going to let that happen. They flag that shit so goddamn quick. They mute your shit. Okay? So I posted a joke. It was Whitney Houston. If you know me, I love cracked out Whitney Houston. I think the love she had for Bobby Brown is the love that I want to have for my future husband. We're going to be in it to win it, okay? I'm a Whitney, right? She says she don't scream, she don't argue, she just beat bitches up. I put the caption, I agree. I told a nigga last week I was going to beat him up. 4 minutes, I can't use my live for 7 days. Okay, I am officially shadow banned. They took all my shit away from me, all because I made a fucking joke. But I posted a picture of me in Mexico, which showed just of my backside. Okay, and I got 250 views on my story while being shadow banned. So that's when I officially figured out that Instagram will show ass over anything else. Don't let it be some text. Don't let it be some shit you write. Nah. They'll let you show some ass. So I got to talk underneath me. I got to twerk on the front and talk on the background and voice over that the government has been putting so much shit in our food that our brains are pretty much going to slide out our ears in the next 15 to 20 years. I have to put that on the backside of me twerking on Instagram if I wanted to utilize it like they use TikTok.
Facts, because I mean, I know it's a rapper who I listen to on there, and she drops some positive, a lot of positive and dropping a lot of information in there. But the only way her videos really get that attention is when she got her makeup all done and maybe she got a little cleavage showing. But if she's just all dressed all humble and modest, then videos don't get nothing. They don't even suggest that stuff. Not that the people who listen wouldn't listen if she wasn't like that. They don't suggest them. You have to like go to her channel and be like, I didn't even realize she dropped 2 new ones.
All of it. They'll let you see the IG models. They let you see the Krishan Blueface bullshit. They let you see all of the shit. They let you see a lot of dumb shit on Instagram. They really do. I'm not saying TikTok ain't got its share of dumb shit, but it has its share of more informative shit. You can get a big chunk. You can get a breadcrumb of some shit that's going to make you go Google it yourself. If you're really about that life. Somebody will say something, drop that piece of knowledge. You go, damn. Okay. You might even go to Reddit with it. I'm waiting for them to really regulate Reddit.
That's coming.
Reddit got regulated when they murked Aaron Schwartz.
Damn.
Reddit got from 2015 on. Reddit's been just a completely freaking captured platform. Like it was, but oh yeah, for almost 10 years now, Reddit has been, I mean, it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller in terms of what you can say and where you can say it.
No, this is all a big move to force. I don't know if people ever really pay attention to who is in office in a sense. By the way, to make this more or less a political thing as well, in reference to like New World Order, the governing bodies or whatever. These are white people that have been generations of Hicks. And when I mean generation of Hicks, I'm thinking, think of their grandfather, because they old as fuck already. But think of their grandfather. Their grandfather probably owned a nice ass farm, you know what I'm saying, or had some type of establishment that he had to get out the mud or whatever have you, right? 9 times out of 10, it was farming. When you go to, I lived on a farm. So when you go to try to herd something, you start cutting things off to get them to funnel into one place. So if they start cutting off our other means of social medias, we're going to get funneled into something, because now we've gotten a dopamine addiction to this shit. And so I can only imagine what the next couple of years are going to really look like when they really, really start like chiming in on these regulations and bluffing it underneath, saying that we mad at this country, we mad at that country, we can't do this, we can't do that, which should lead into the, I'm sorry to bring this one up because I've been waiting to talk about this, the Congo thing, because they just had the first experience.
Oh, we're going to get there.
Clean the fuck off. Sorry.
No, we're going to get there. Yeah, we're gonna get there.
But that's what I'm experiencing. Like I'm seeing it play by play. Like I said on our show earlier this week, when the people that write for the universe want to hire me, I can write good and I can make it funny. I should be on Simpsons. Like I can predict this shit. Come on, man. Let me go. I know at least the next 2 seasons. Just let me be a writer for like 2 seasons.
I got something that I want to add. And for those who don't know much about what we're talking about, this TikTok, I know some of our audience, it ranges in age, and I love that we do have those different ranges in age. And some people, it's not even just an age thing. They're like, I don't even pay attention to none of that garbage that's over there. And so I feel that. So I do just want to put the feelers out just a little bit. So I just want to share the first part of this video. Definitely don't care about this dumbass debate that they have on here, but this is what we're talking about. If you don't know what we're talking about the Twitter ban.
A measure passed by the House that calls for the popular social media app TikTok to be sold by its Chinese owner, ByteDance.
Yeah, the measure passed overwhelmingly in a bipartisan vote, but faces an uncertain future in the Senate. The concern by TikTok and its millions of users is how the measure could lead to a ban of the app here in the U.S.
I don't support a ban on TikTok. The legislation did not ban TikTok. It's simply a divestiture of TikTok so that this social media platform can be owned by an American company.
Yeah, I've talked to a number of senators. They are looking, a lot of them are looking towards how strong this vote is. So the fact that it's such an overwhelming vote for Republicans and Democrats bodes well.
Joining us this morning for a wide-ranging discussion.
So that's what I wanted to share. And notice he said, "Oh, the divestiture," and I guess it wasn't in that clip. But do you guys know who the leading candidate is to that they're looking to hopefully buy TikTok?
Steve Mnuchin.
Oh damn.
Steve Mnuchin, former Treasury guy, former Goldman Sachs dude too, right?
Yeah, and dude who probably should have seen the inside of a jail cell for multiple things, especially out here in California. Yeah, he was a former movie guy too, movie executives and shit.
Oh, he was touching on kids and people. Most definitely. He definitely did that.
Yeah, Kamala Harris, she did him a solid and got him out of it.
Yeah, see, when you come to like that evil genius shit, you know, when you like definitely got your white cat and you do this, Like that's like low level shit. You know what I'm saying? That's entry level shit. Yeah, he been did that shit.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely moves souls around. I know that for a fact. He shake hands with Satan.
Mm-hmm. And so now we're gonna get to the nuts and bolts of this, the nitty gritty.
Well, the clip I just threw in the private chat, though, since you opened with Hakeem Jeffries,
Mm-hmm.
The clip I just threw in the private chat is a
Oh,
nice
yeah.
bookend.
Me and you, we be right here because that's definitely I didn't have it already ready, but that's the 1-2 punch.
And then you had to deal with the first intifada, and Israel prevailed. And Israel had to deal with the second intifada, and Israel prevailed. And then missiles were flying in December of 2008, and Israel prevailed. And then missiles were flying in November of 2012, and Israel prevailed. And so I'm confident that when it's all said and done, we're going to stand together. Israel today, Israel tomorrow, Israel forever. God bless you.
Perfect. And I got one more that I want to add to this, because for people that don't know, this TikTok thing isn't new. This isn't something that they just like, oh, well, maybe we should do this. This is something that's been pushed for a while. But all of a sudden, it got a whole lot more steam. And I want to show y'all something. I don't know. Let me see what we got here.
Well,
Is
that
this,
Hakeem Jeffries moment had some really familiar energy to it. And so the clip I just threw in the chat there, I think, captures that energy. Would you agree, Marcus? Am I in the right?
Oh yes. This is perfect timing. Yes, perfect timing for this video.
Shut. Oh, Steve.
Yes, so perfect.
Okay, can I play one last fact on this whole TikTok thing?
Yeah. Go ahead, and then I'll show the video.
Just back to him saying, like, what the fuck does China want to do with our business, our information? Okay, does anybody actually pay attention to Chinese TikTok? They shit is so different, bro. They don't do no fuck shit. They don't do no bullshit. CNN ban, Reddit ban, Pinterest ban. They don't even let you do DIYs in China. Okay. Think about that. Their regulations are crazy. You feel me? Like their TikTok teaches children how to do XYZ. They know how to build super intricate mechanical things. They have science projects they can do at home by themselves. That's what Chinese TikTok is. For the adults, it's like how to become a more efficient parent type shit. Like the shit is not what the fuck we have. So they ain't got nothing to do. They are not worried about our TikTok. We am worried about our TikTok because the government ain't never got time to mind their own motherfucking business. We always in everybody's shit.
Thing, what is it that China is going to get from TikTok that they can't get from just following you on any other social media platform?
My grandmama's sweet potato pie.
Okay. The 20% of TikTok is owned by the employees of TikTok, over 1,000 of which include U.S. citizens, a lot of whom are not Chinese. 20% of TikTok is owned by the 2 people who developed the app. The remaining 60% of TikTok is owned by a bunch of different global investment groups, including the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund, the same Saudi prince that owns a chunk of Twitter. The majority of Twitter owns a chunk of TikTok. Like the Chinese government, as far as the business entity goes, has about fuck all to do with TikTok. It's an international business concerns. A couple of the developers and the employees, they can go in and ban individual websites. With this thing, they can go in and say that anybody who's sharing something could be a national security threat. This everything that we've talked about
It's
with like
Patriot Act iOS 9.19.1.
it is. Yeah, and the
Mhm.
people that have for the last year or so been calling it the Patriot Act 2.0 are correct. Patriot Act for the internet. Absolutely. But it's a little bit more than that because it promotes an immediate digital registry. It helps everything that Elon's doing in terms of making Twitter the WeChat of the West, which is the CCP's one app to rule them all. That is a Chinese Communist Party thing. So the bait and switch in terms of where we're blaming China and where we're not looking at a Chinese model of social media, banking, communication, all that centralized control. That's very deliberate too.
Well, also, and this reminds me of, remind me, what was the name of that company? I'm blanking on it because we did a video covering that Chinese company that basically owns WeChat and all of these other entities up under them, and it's basically, damn, why come I can't remember it? We just covered it not that long ago. It's no, not Alibaba, because Alibaba's like the one company that's not up under them, and this company is it ByteDance? I don't think it's ByteDance.
That's TikTok.
No, this company is bigger than ByteDance.
Tencent. Yeah.
Tencent. That's the one that I'm talking about. Tencent is like, I don't even think most Americans who are not familiar with Tencent can even comprehend how Tencent runs because it's everything. Imagine if like all of your social media platforms. We're talking about X or Twitter. We're talking about Facebook, Instagram. We're talking about Snapchat.
Fortnite,
we're talking
video
about
games.
Video games. We're talking about your Uber. We're talking about Cash App. GoFundMe's, all of these different things, your email, everything, your medical records, all of this stuff is, not only medical records, like your tax information, all of this stuff is all on this one thing. Like if you lose that, like literally you cannot survive within that society. You literally, everything's wiped, and this one company has the power to wipe away everything, liquidate everything you have. That's part of like some of the stuff we talked about a little bit with some of the immigration, which we'll touch back on that topic. You had plenty of Chinese nationals who were coming across the border, and we're not talking about this factory worker. We're talking about people who own corporations and lawyers and doctors who are coming across the border because of how they are taking over and doing things and destroying businesses of the people who are trying to work within the small parameter of capitalism that they have over there. But yeah, going ahead too.
Okay, so I just recently figured out, I go to a lot of marijuana trade shows and stuff like that throughout the country and stuff. 70-80% of the freaking trade show people are Asian. They have officially taken over the marijuana industry, and people don't even know it. People don't even know it. The marijuana industry is definitely, Chinese people are coming over here and buying farms and growing marijuana here. Like, people need to do more research. Yeah, everybody, I don't know if everybody likes smoking weed. I know I do, but it's to the point that like you need to find some seeds, grow it in your house, and have your own, because it's going to be owned by outsourced companies before long. Like, they have smart motherfuckers coming over the border. That's what people don't understand. Everybody thinks that it's these low-level fucking people. No, they're not.
Well, everybody's thinking it's just, this is just more people from south of the border, Mexicans and Guatemalans and Venezuelans, and there are some of those people, but that's not the bulk of who's coming over right now.
People gotta, like, what y'all really think that small? Like, and that's that American ego shit. Because we think we the best motherfuckers on the planet. We think we're gonna give you the best life. You coming over here because you was struggling. No, the fuck they weren't. No, they weren't. They came over here and saw a lucrative opportunity, and they already had their shit straight. They just coming over here to go ahead and rack it up for themselves. Like, it's crazy.
That's the reason why
you.
that's the reason why they talk about the Asian community over here that's doing so well. And I kind of had a little debate going back and forth with somebody. He was talking about how Asians in America are doing so well. And it's like a lot of these Asians that you're talking about that are doing so well, they didn't come over here with $10 in their pocket and built themselves up from the ground up. These are professionals. These are a lot of these people were blue collar to white collar, coming from India, coming from China, coming from Korea, and just took what they had and then transferred a lot of it. Maybe had a little bit of a 6-month gap to catch up, year to get back, where they were. But we're not talking about a bunch of people who are coming over who are, pulling themselves up necessarily by the bootstraps. We're talking about people who are coming in here with wealth and skills and who have connections also. So this whole model immigrant kind of thing, which people are getting into their heads, is a little bit of a fallacy.
I can definitely attest to that. Like, I agree 110%. So I worked at a very prestigious resort in the country. It's a one of a one type thing in the country. And when I tell you that I worked with people that were younger than me with full degrees from their country.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they come over here stacked. Y'all don't even know. They have agencies that get them set up in other countries, fresh out of school, fresh out of university. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They graduated at 17. And I ain't talking about high school. You feel me? They graduate in college at 17, 18. They coming over here because they had a dude set up their visa. And now they over here working at a nice high-tech job, young as fuck. Young as hell. Stacking up bread, stacking bread. It's crazy.
No, you'll definitely see that out here on the West Coast very strongly, especially in the Bay Area.
So I was on Critical Hour yesterday for the panel thing. We talked about the TikTok thing, and it's with Mnuchin stepping in with the underlying pressure that the ADL put.
I got that video.
Okay. The underlying pressure the ADL had put on Congress to begin with to get it. It's not a ban at all. It's a hostile takeover. And they want to point the finger at China. They want to make it a Chinese thing. They want to make everybody look the other way. Wow, former Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, comes in and his nice little investor group and makes it a much more Zionist-friendly entity. Because
he was selling it to a Zionist.
Yeah. Well, and who was specifically saying, not necessarily Steve Mnuchin, but Jonathan Greenblatt.
Jonathan Greenblatt. Yeah, I got the clip right here, and I wanted to put this in here. This clip is from November 16, 2023. So for those who have not heard it, I think it's important to hear it, and you'll understand where this push is coming from. You'll also understand why Nikki Haley was talking about, every moment that you watch TikTok, you become more anti-Semitic. This is all coming out of Jonathan Greenblatt and ADL and Southern Poverty Law Center and the JDL. All of these people, this is coming from them. So here's the tweet. It says, "We have a major TikTok problem. Leaked audio of ADL chief executive Jonathan Greenblatt freaking out because global youth aren't buying into Israel's propaganda anymore." So here, let me play that.
I also want to point out that we have a major
They even lied. They even lied to each other on the phone.
That our community needs to put the same brains that gave us Taglit, the same brains that gave us all these other amazing innovations, need to put our energy toward this, like fast. Because again, like we've been chasing this left-right divide. It's the wrong game. The real game is the next generation, and the Hamas and their accomplices, the useful idiots in the West.
The real game is that they need another sacrifice.
Last thing I'll just say, we saw a dramatic change in the language of the activists here in America on October the 8th. The language of groups that we've long tracked, who've long been problematic, like Students for Justice in Palestine and Jewish Voices for Peace, they flipped like this and went to like Iranian propaganda. The language I could show you from their toolkits, because our analysts are in their groups. We saw this again on October the 8th. It was that fast. Like the language in their toolkits was all about the Zionist entity and lots of other language that we recognized from Iranian propaganda.
More bullshit.
But I also want to point out.
Yeah, and it's well, what you were saying, Chris, is they even lined their propaganda. He completely like misrepresented it. It's not them buying into Hamas anything. What it is they're witnessing you bomb indiscriminately, and they have a problem with it. And the whole we noticed it on October 8th. That's a lie right there. What you have is there's a bunch of Palestinian voices who did complain about that, and I don't even think that they were. I mean, now I don't know which evidence he's looking at, and I'm pretty sure he's manufacturing crap. It wasn't October 8th. That when you started to see the tide turn, it wasn't October 8th. It was probably about like November 8th. That's about after a month of seeing like what Israel had their response. That's when people had an issue. It wasn't people saying, yeah, good, I'm glad Hamas did this. I mean, I'm not saying that there weren't some, but that is not the overwhelming majority of people. The overwhelming majority of the youth were upset with the response from Israel. It wasn't, yeah, we're happy that they went in there and did that. So this motherfucker, he's such a fucking liar. I mean, and if you ever looked at like the statistics, when you go into, they say, well, the hate speech and all that is on the rise. If you look at ADL's numbers, how they classify stuff, just because like there were protests, pro-Palestinian protests, they considered that hate speech. You don't even have to be saying anything about Jewish people. You're saying we just hope for freedom, equality. That's considered hate speech to a Zionist. And so when you look at how many of these anti-Semitic attacks, how many of these are actual violence, or how much of this is somebody actually in fear for their actual life, it's very minimal. So there's not really what I'm seeing when I look at the way they're totaling the shit is completely artificial, made up stuff. And you got to remember, at this point, I don't even know if it's completely a lie or if it's just mental disorder when you have somebody who is so deranged that they frame shit from a whole, like they live in a whole different reality. Like, and I've seen this multiple. I mean, I've seen this multiple times. I remember this one guy where he was talking about the Holocaust, and he was giving his memories of this little girl that he used to give an apple to on the other side of the fence. And he told this story on like Oprah or something for like decades.
They turned it into a book. They were making it a movie, Marcus. They were making it a freaking Hollywood film.
Never happened. It never happened. He imagined the whole thing. And it's like,
and she's out there lying with him.
Yes. Yeah, and she but that's the thing. She knew he was lying. She knew it didn't happen.
Yes, that's what I said. She's out there lying with him.
And we're
They
talking about for like, what was
capitalized
it,
off
30,
all of this
40
shit.
years?
And when they got busted, remember what he said, Marcus?
I thought it happened.
It happened in my mind.
Yeah.
It was real to me.
Yeah. And then how many people which you started seeing where, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that people didn't die in the Holocaust, but how many people was like, and you see these stories from, what was it, that Steven Spielberg documentary? And they're like, oh, and I never saw that family member again. Just for about 10 years later, after that could come out, for them to find that family member in like Argentina or some weird place. That a lot of people that people thought were dead and gone and disappeared didn't die. Were completely alive. And they're on the other side telling that same story. I saw when they put them on the buses and I knew I would never see them again. And it's, I don't know what goes on in a person's head, what kind of, I don't know if this is trauma or just complete, just a mass delusion that's going on with a whole bunch of people, or just a certain level of just propaganda that's been put into a lot of people, that you have major chunks of survivors of the Holocaust who completely remember whole things that did not happen, or claim something with every fiber of their being that did not happen.
Well,
and the evidence is their other family member who is still alive.
Well, you know, they looked at the data, and all the data was crazy for the Palestinian support, especially amongst young people. So that was very alarming for the ADL and the rest of the Zionists who are, you know, very aware and worried about this. So the data in itself showed right now the younger generation, as they view it, they're not rocking with Israel. The other thing that's happening is the World War II propaganda is finally wearing off. Well, it's not effective on the current generation at all. You say World War II to them, you say that Adolf name, you say the name of the camp. These kids is like, oh, word, yeah, some shit happened there, maybe, I don't know, but they're not, so they don't feel it in their heart to the point to where, oh my God, I feel so. No, they don't feel like that. They're looking at a lot of other historical events too, and they're using their brain, actually, some of them, and they're actually saying like, yeah, we get it, you know. And look, the kids are going to be the one to destroy that whole myth. This is my little mini prediction. They're going to go so hard with Holocaust references. You have the kids on the internet now saying the 90s, we done with the 90s trend, right? I don't know if you guys saw that. But anyway, that had to do with some basketball. But anyway, the kids are going into Michael Jordan's basketball games and breaking them down and saying, wait a second, you told us all this time that he did this, this, and that, but here's the holes and the gaps in his games, if you will. The kid's going to go back and be like, yo, that 6 million number, oh, that don't sound right. Hey, all this other stuff you said, that don't sound right. And they're deathly worried about all of them, their whole shit being exposed for this newer generation.
Well,
but even for our generation, because let me just finish saying this.
Chris, on that, just in general about the believing, everything across the board, this younger generation is not taking nothing that anybody's saying and running with it. Every single thing is being questioned. So for people, oh, it's anti-Semitic. No, they're questioning everything, literally everything. So, but go ahead.
Mm-hmm. You know, we just got to get them to apply that shit to all that other shit that they be on. You know.
Well, what it is, this is what's creating some of these different off the wall movements and stuff like that. Because there's so many lies that are just being propagated. There's so many things where people are not telling the truth. And it's not even that a whole thing might be wrong. But the fact that it's fine with certain people to over exaggerate things and try to lie it up more. It's like if I got beat up by 3 people, I can just say I got beat up by 3 people. I don't have to say it was 8 people and the one had a bat. And I would, you don't got to do all that. And that's starting to be the problem with some of these historical events where people are looking back and they're seeing holes. And since nobody wants to fess up to, okay, I might have been bullshitting a little here. I might have exaggerated this. You're going to have a whole generation of kids who are going to throw it all out. And I feel like, and I had this conversation with this one Zionist guy. I said, what you guys are doing, and because of the sentiment and how the ADL is lying about things and pushing so hard on people in so many different ways and shutting down any kind of conversation and labeling every single thing as anti-Semitic, what you're doing is you're taking the power away from that. You're taking the power away from that word. Now, nobody gives a shit about being called anti-Semitic because it's thrown around so damn willy-nilly. But what's happening is I got called anti-Semitic the other day when I'm saying, all I said to this dude, I said, what's going on with the way Israel is prosecuting this war is you're going to put it to a situation where the whole international community starts to turn their back. And so what happens is when something really does go down to an extreme level, you're not going to have anybody's sympathy. And what that's going to do is it's going to leave people who are not Zionists in trouble. It's going to leave them in danger. And I said, I'm just speaking because as somebody who's looking from the outside in, you're making Jewish people as a whole, you're putting all of them in danger because of the recklessness and the way you guys are prosecuting this thing. And I had this conversation as there is a Orthodox Jewish man, and we talk faith issues, and we talk about the Torah and the Tanakh, and the differences between some of our beliefs and whatever. So we have this ongoing back and forth conversation. And he said he's not a Zionist. He does not agree with Zionism. He does not agree with a lot of this stuff. But what happens, and I know this is not fair, that you feel this need that this person has to come out and speak for other people. Well, what happens is if you don't in this situation, what's happening is everybody's assuming that you're with them. Everybody's assuming that you're with the Zionists. And what's going to happen is since you're a small group of people, you're all going to be lumped into that same barrel. And so you're going to have a lot of innocent people who are going to end up going down with the rest. Now, I hear the people like right now, the whole push is about, and never mind. I'll put a pin in that and I'll get back off my soapbox for a minute. But y'all can take it. Sorry.
You good.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, anybody want to hop in? Because I was going to throw in a little bit about,
look,
the
there
whole
was the
Schumer.
Before the whole thing with Candace, I think it was a previous instance of just sheer nonsense from Shmuley Botique. I could commented under it, and I'm like, it seems like you're trying to get everyone to just broad brush hate all Jews regardless of where they fall on their own personal, ideology, whether or not they give a damn about Zionism. It seems like this is a concerted effort to gin up as much broad brush hatred as possible, which happens to fall in line with a couple of, Marcus, you could probably back me up on this, a couple of very key prophecies involving the Moshiach and then the rapture.
Yeah, and it's funny that you started talking about that because I just saw a video the other day. Now I got to confirm this, but somebody talked about that a red heifer has been sacrificed already.
Oh my God, we've been on the red heifers for weeks, dude. Chris had like in particular has read, but I mean, we played. First of all, 9 months ago, CBS sent a crew over to the spot where facing the Temple Mount, pre-construction of the ramp and the bloodletting altar and all that kind of stuff. Teal, do you know about any of this? You look confused.
I'm so lost. Please put me on speakers. What the
Okay,
fuck is a red
so
heifer?
yeah, let me.
Are you pulling something up?
Yeah.
Well, I can kind of talk a little bit on it.
Please do.
So for those who don't know what we're talking about, within Judaism,
thing here real quick. That was fast. There's
cool. All right.
And we could do for the whole class. We could full screen it. I could take some dabs. It might be great. It might be.
Hey, speaking of,
what's that?
Nope.
I wonder, you know, since we're on this topic, you know, I won't even pretend that I knew about this guy, but you know, going into the Haiti issue, talking about Zionism, you know, the richest guy in Haiti is a Zionist.
He's a Jew.
Right?
Yeah, well, yeah, not only Zionist, he's Jewish.
Jewish Zionist.
And what is his profession?
Well, we'll get into that.
I'm just saying they all, you know.
We still got a little bit more meat on the bone before we get there.
But yeah, so the red heifer thing though, Teal, it's pretty wild.
According to Mosaic law, burning the ashes of a red heifer is a mandatory act for beginning the temple offering to God. The ashes of the red heifer is a key element in a biblically mandated purification ritual. These ashes are required for purification in a range of situations, including contact with dead bodies. Numbers chapter 19. Now, with all the bloodshed on the Temple Mount down through the centuries, the mount itself must be cleansed before the temple can be built. According to the Torah, Moses prepared the first red heifer, and from that time until the destruction of the temple, only 9 heifers were prepared. There has been no proper red heifer in Israel for the past 2,000 years. The difficulties of finding red heifers anywhere is that they are not only rare,
unless you cheat,
requirements as stipulated in the Torah and in the Oral Talmud. The 5 main criteria for establishing the proper red heifer for the holy purpose of purification are: it should be completely red with no spot or blemish. Actually, the heifer can have no more than 2 non-red hairs, and the hooves also must be red. It must be a female. Heifers are female. It must never have been used for labor. It must never have been pregnant, and it must be between 3 to 4 years old. In Judaism, this prophecy signals the coming of a time that includes the return of biblical laws of purity, thus allowing for truly holy life. For evangelical Christians, it heralds the end of days, the return of Jesus to earth, and the rapture. This belief has long driven Christian Zionism and Christian lobbying on behalf of Israel. In September 2022, through a joint effort established between a Christian ministry and the Temple Institute in Jerusalem, 5 red heifers from Texas were transported to Jerusalem and now graze at a secure, undisclosed location in the Israeli-occupied West Bank.
Teal, thoughts?
What the fuck?
So the video I put in the chat right below that is a little short breakdown of the ramp and the altar that they're building. And then I also put a CBS piece from a few weeks ago on it, where it's CBS News basically being like, yeah, and then according to the prophecy, if the cows are sacrificed, that could begin the construction of the third temple, you know. And they're not like, and by the way, that means the Antichrist for the Christian tradition. They're not, they don't tag that anywhere into the news coverage. It's the Jewish Messiah. It's just in a different book. It's also the Antichrist. It's kind of, it's not me saying that, it's the book saying that.
A massive altar already awaits where the heifers are to be burned. According to some believers,
That's quiet as hell.
It needs to be performed right here on the Mount of Olives, looking directly into where the temple
it is.
stood.
I got it all the way up.
Sorry.
Are these red heifers, to be precise? Some Jews and Christians believe they're the key to rebuilding the historic Jewish temple in Jerusalem and to beckoning the Messiah. To understand, you have to go back nearly 2,000 years when the ancient Romans destroyed the
Marcus, I could barely hear that. I don't know if anybody else
it's
can.
okay.
I could barely hear that.
It commands the
It's okay. They're basically just reiterating what we already heard in the first clip in terms of the prophecy, but what they're adding in terms of B-roll while they do it is the ramp that directly faces the Temple Mount. They have this piece of crap. Ugh, this guy. But okay, so look, they're genetically modified, specifically like engineered freaking cows in the first place. Now, only a culture steeped in the loophole would allow for something like this to happen in the first place. If it's not inherently in your cultural tradition to seek and then exploit the loophole, you'd probably be like, hey, wait a minute, according to the book, doesn't say anything at all about you get to go to Texas and pay a bunch of evangelical Christian ranchers a ridiculous amount of money to genetically engineer you your red heifers.
Well, it doesn't say anything about that in the Torah Tanakh either. This all comes from the Talmud, which that's why it comes from the Torah. Which Torah are you talking about, the written or the oral? Now, most people do not acknowledge, most theologians who are not Jewish do not acknowledge that there's some kind of oral Torah. For those who don't know what I mean, the oral Torah or the Talmud. The Talmud is said to be secret commandments and secret traditions and all that were passed from God directly to Moses, and he just kind of like didn't write none of that down. He just held it, and then thousands of years later, well, I don't know if that's 1,000 years. Basically, you start hearing about this, I want to say, in first 1,000 years in Europe, after the Jewish community start popping up in what would be modern day parts of Russia and Ukraine. And this comes in and they start talking about this is broken down by one of their top Jewish sages, Rambam, which so he's breaking down this supposed tradition that was secret, that Moses didn't tell anybody, that they just secretly all knew, and then it just popped up around like 1100 AD. So that's the kind of the spiel on that. And what Steve was talking about is and for Christians and evangelicals in particular, because I think it's more important to focus on what evangelicals think in this instance, because they're the ones who are some of the biggest Zionists and pushing for a lot of this stuff in Israel and pushing for the funding and all that in Israel, they believe that all this stuff needs to happen so that will bring on the Antichrist and the rapture, which in that fate, according to their beliefs, 2/3 of the Jewish population in Israel is going to be wiped out, and they will be able to ascend to heaven. So that's
yep. And you've got with the Third Temple movement, this is something that's been ongoing for a very long time. Where they've been like trying to tunnel under Al-Aqsa Mosque and undermine the foundation so it collapses so that they can then go in and build the Third Temple. That's one of the avenues of approach that they've taken over the last, I don't know, 8 to 10 years, something like that. There's a very particular. Well, okay, so it's the marriage of Shin Bet and the Chabad Lubavitch that were part of the people who were tunneling under Al-Aqsa. Now, if Chabad Lubavitch sounds familiar, it's
they were just tunneling.
They're the tunnel Jews in Brooklyn. So I don't know what it is with tunnels. I'm not.
Well, yeah, and the crazy thing about it, like for people who don't realize, like, what's the big deal? While we're always hearing about the Al-Aqsa Mosque, while we're always hearing all this fighting and consternation to do with that, is because the ultra orthodox, the Likud party, most of these people are highly fanatical, and all this stuff that we talked about, the red heifers and them looking for their, which they've recently, I'm forgetting his name, but they were talking about their Messiah, that they believe he was there. And according to their beliefs of the Messiah is supposed to be able to cite the whole Torah by memory. And for those who don't know what the Torah is, it's the Pentateuch. It's the first 5 books of the Bible. So that's from Genesis to Deuteronomy. And they believe that he's supposed to be able to perform all these different miracles and stuff, even though Isaiah 53, when it talks about a Messiah, that's not what it says. So these people who say that they believe in the Torah and the Tanakh, which Isaiah fits into the Tanakh, these contradict. So why would, if this oral Torah is correct, why is there contradictions? I mean, not to mention the Wailing Wall where they do all the crying and that, and all the presidents go to it. According to the Bible, it says that there would not be one stone left on top of the stone after basically what people believe is 70 AD. So their understanding of where stuff is highly questionable, to say the least. And to Earl was asking, is this a Christian channel? You're asking, am I a man of faith and believe in the Messiah? Most definitely. I can't speak for everybody, but I do. Also I teach the Bible on my other channel, Hebrew Apologetics.
My grandpa did that. That's what he did.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Teal, I know you have some questions.
I'm a preacher's grandkid. First off, loopholing the cow shit. Is that kind of like Jewish spam, Steve, that we talked about that one time?
Oh, the pocket ham?
Pocket ham, yeah.
It's a lot like pocket ham.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so
have I shown you the Ari Shaffir clip, Marcus, with pocket?
No.
Oh,
no,
man.
you haven't.
Yeah, you gotta at some point.
Like,
Ari Shaffir has a comedy special called Jew.
Oh Lord!
Oh wow!
Because he is.
Yeah, he is. He's Jewish. I'll one question I want to understand is somebody can just explain. Where in the Bible does it say, the Torah Tanakh, where it says anything about the Mezitza Papet? And for those who don't know what the Mezitza Papet is, that is oral circumcision. So I'm trying to understand where that is in the Bible.
Yeah, they made that shit the fuck up. Yeah.
You're up there giving babies STDs and shit. What the hell?
Yeah, out here giving them the herp alert, and it's luggage. You can't get rid of that. You know what
No.
I'm saying?
No,
can't
you
get rid of
cannot.
that. You get it like luggage, bro. It's terrible. Terrible. Out here sucking dick.
And then what? Everybody in the community just has rabbi herps.
Okay, and it's like,
Everybody.
damn, he
That's
got you
everybody.
too.
That's the entire village.
The girls
You-
got it. The boys got it.
Girl,
Everybody got
yeah,
it.
that's generationally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They trying to see which rabbi got it. You know what I'm saying? Because now, you know what I'm saying, the young rabbi, he just started. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes his is a little crooked.
Right.
Laws. And so here's my favorite what if from the Talmud. What if you're making some soup? Okay. Let's imagine a big pot of soup in the town square in Jesus' time, Jerusalem. You know, can you picture it? Some guys making this fucking cauldron of soup. One of these goys, one of these shifty fucking goys, just kind of like milling about, you know, just hanging by nearby. What's that goy even doing here? Nobody wants him here. Just shifty, you know, just bringing down property values. I hate when they're here. He reaches into his pocket. This can't be good. What's this going? And he pulls out, yep, some ham. No one's looking. Right, he dunks the ham right in the soup. He's like, "Fuck off, Jews!" And he fucking takes off. What if that happens? Can you eat the soup or not? That's what the Talmud asks. That's a legit what if from the Gemara that I studied for 3 weeks in a yeshiva in Jerusalem when I was 19 years old. I get the other ones. I really do. What if you kill somebody by accident? What if you stab a period into your wife? Sure. What if a rogue goy loses goddamn marbles, breaks through your Jew security, and commits just the softest act of terrorism of all time? It's a hate crime. Pure and simple, it's a hate crime. But no loss of life. But ooh, what a possible loss of soup. Well, what if that happens? Look at it, totally. So if that happens, the Gemara asks, then what do you do? What do you do with the soup? Can you eat it or can you not eat it? What do you, not the Orthodox Jews, everybody else. What do you guys think? Eat it? A couple hell no's. What? Take out the ham. All right, you're thinking. That's what the Gemara does, by the way. It just teaches you, like, think it out, logic this out. What can you do? You know, maybe run it through a sheet, maybe whatever. Like, you know, but all they did, the ancient rabbis just discussed it and come up with the answer. And you're all wrong. You're all wrong. You were never going to get it. The answer is, for sure, you were never going to get this. The answer is, it depends on the ratio of ham to soup. Yeah, and that number, and I don't know why, that number, actually, if anybody knows it, on the count of three, say it. 1, 2, 3. 60th. Yeah, 1/60th. I'm not making it up. Yeah, a lot of you Christians are like, wait, what's going on right now? Did Ari have 47 audience plants? 1/60. The law is called Bito B'Shishim, the waste of the 60th. And if it's less than 1/60th, you know, if it's 1/64th ham to soup, then the ancient rabbi's like, hey man, let's just soup a little bit of ham in it. That never hurt nobody. Yum, yum, eat it up. But if it's a little less water or a little more ham, it's 1/59th ham to soup, then they're like, dude, that's obviously ham soup. Pour it out on the street. Don't give it to the non-Jews. That'll incentivize them to do it again. Throw it out. Here's the cool thing, though. Here's what me and all my friends like tapped into. We were 19 in this yeshiva. We were like, here's the coolest part of the law. The ham in the non-ham soup, you know, if it's 1/67th, whatever, ham to soup, it's no longer considered ham. Yeah, it's lost its hamness. So you can eat that ham. And that, my friends, is the loophole that we were all looking for. Yeah. Yeah.
They'll go to that
Loophole.
length to get a ratio of ham into the soup. The fuck you think is
and my
gonna
thing is-
happen if they want all of the West Bank or all of Gaza?
And my thing is, none of this, there's no precedent for any of that in the Bible. It just says, no, you can't. There's no, oh, is it this 160? Where are you even fucking getting these numbers? And for those who are not familiar with the Talmud, it's divided of two parts, the Mishnah and the Gemara. And that's what he's talking about. You know, I studied about 3 weeks of the Gemara. And one part is supposedly interpretations of biblical laws, what these rabbis and sages believe they mean. And then there's a whole nother part where they're just arguing back, exactly like lawyers. That's why they call it legalese.
Mhm.
They're arguing literally about well, this, and what about this certain scenario, and what do you think on this, and here's some other laws that we think that you can do that was not in the Bible. And so you're telling me that Moses had a secret Bible that has more laws and stuff in it than the Bible does, that goes into a whole bunch of shit the Bible doesn't even talk about. And it just all of a sudden they decided that for it to be written down in what, like 1000 AD. Now, granted, there are two different Talmuds. You have the Jerusalem Talmud and you have the Babylonian Talmud. But the Babylonian Talmud is where most of this comes from. And some people say, well, no, what happened is they actually wrote it down initially when the Jews went into captivity in Babylon. It's just been held secret up until the sages in Europe start writing it. So there's all that. So you guys have the little information on understanding. When Neo says these frauds, liars are all about loopholes.
Yes. Everything's a fucking loophole.
Just like people were talking about with the Chabad Lubavitch. They were saying that there was like this big sheet that they would wrap around all these different areas. And so this sheet, as long as it was connected, they can leave out and go to all these different places, because under their belief system, you're not supposed to leave the house on the Sabbath at all. And so they built all these sheets so they can make it as if this whole area is the house, making a big giant loophole. I'm like, wow, you really think that you could, even if that was what it was, you think that, and now I'm speaking, of course, I get it. There are plenty of people who are atheists who don't believe, but let's just, for the moment, let's say, okay, there is God and all that. Just rock with us for a moment. You're saying that you believe a God that's powerful enough that can create everything, every person, every being. You're going to come up with loopholes to outsmart him? That
I just want to know if God's gonna think that this GMO cow is good enough. Because I mean, I don't think GMOs are good enough for me. And I'm just little old me. I'm Kanye in my own little world. But I'm just saying, like, if they do all of this, they sacrifice a cow. He comes down. He comes and checks it out. He rubs his hand in the blood. He goes, "Is this GMO? You didn't even get me an organic cow. You got me a GMO cow."
Well, you know they have kosher pork in Israel too, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So you telling me he about to wipe? Y'all don't think that he's gonna be displeased and wipe y'all the fuck out at all whatsoever? That doesn't cross your mind at all whatsoever. They're like, nah, this GMO cow gonna be okay, okay, perfect. No, motherfucker. Oh my god. People are stupid.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. And I could go really into this. And one of these days, I don't know. Y'all let me know if y'all want me to continue this on some day, and then I'll set it up for a class on Hebrew apologetics, and y'all can just fire away all the questions. And I'm inviting even the people who are non-believers, just so you can understand what these beliefs are that some of these people have, and the holes, and why, even according to what they claim they believe, it doesn't even pass the sniff test. So, I mean, and so I think this is a perfect segue to talking about another rabbi. Because I don't know if y'all know this, but he did study up under the Chabad Lubavitch out of New York, and he was kind of basically kicked out. They were like, nah, you doing a lot of funny money stuff. We don't want you involved anymore. You are excommunicado. So this is what led into him being basically a huckster, for money. And I mean, Steve was just talking about this recently with him and, the Sheldon Adelson money. And Steve, why don't you go into that for everybody so they can know what you're talking about, know what we're talking about here.
I'm sorry, I was reading a text one more time.
Oh.
What am I doing?
Oh,
what am I talking about?
Talking about what's his name, Shmuley, and him basically being excommunicado from the Chabad Lubavitch movement, and then also his ties into the Adelson network.
So, so he was like the in-house propaganda author for the Chabad for like, I don't know, 15, 20 years or something like that. And he technically shouldn't be going around calling himself Rabbi Shmuley. At this point. I don't remember why he was excommunicated. I don't remember what the official kerfuffle was, but it was right around the time that he was no longer allowed to hang out with Michael Jackson, according to Michael Jackson. And then very shortly after, Michael Jackson was no longer with us. The Adelson network, the Chabad, is like, okay, you know how the Jesuits are Catholic intelligence organization, and that particular order of the priesthood acts as the global spy network for the Pope. That's effectively what the Chabad are for Judaism, and for the whole freaking college of rabbis or whatever. That's their intelligence network, and they go after intentionally the more ideologically extreme youngsters, of which Shmuley was one. You can't, hear that dude talk for more than 30 seconds and know that he's a zealot. Dude's crazy. He's crazy.
The Chabad Lubavitch, they do believe that that one of their priests who died, I want to say it was the 90s, late 90s, that he didn't actually die. He's just kind of temporarily kind of away, but
they
he's
can
not dead,
reanimate
but he
kind of.
And
there's a zombie sort of thing aspect to it.
And he's gonna come back in Central Park, and he's going to lead everybody into the promised land. And then that'll start the so-called millennial reign and the building of the third temple and all that. You look so confused, Teal.
It's just a lot to take in. I just grew up Kojic, you know what I'm saying? And that's just black church, to just go to church on Sunday, don't wear dresses, don't chew bubblegum. Okay, that's it. This shit is too deep sometimes. God damn, the supervillains just be supervillain in it. Jesus Christ. Assassin's Creed is too real sometimes, because I went back to 2 and I was like, oh, That's what Assassin's Creed 2 was about. That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff within Assassin's Creed is literally. Well, I'm not even going to just say Assassin's Creed. A lot of the stuff within a lot of these movies and video games is sneaking all kinds of hints that from all kind of
Thanks,
stuff.
Earl.
Hey, what's up, Mona? Good to see you. But there's so much stuff that if you know what people are rocking with and their viewpoints, you start seeing certain things within film. So it's just, something that you see over time once you get that kind of awareness on certain things. But if you're not aware of it and you don't see it, you'll just be watching it and you won't realize some of the stuff that they're putting out or saying in there.
Yeah, art imitates life, most definitely.
Mm-hmm. But on to Shmuley, him and Candace Owens have been having this back and forth, and it's been kind of going on for quite some time now. It all started back with the whole Kanye West thing, and so him and his daughter have been kind of going on a tangent and attacking her, and then she's been pushing back against them. And I don't know if the audio is correct or not, but apparently he dropped an N-bomb on Candace Owens. So I don't know if the audio is legit. I'm saying that it could be AI, could be somebody who's a good voiceover actress. Nina, I'm not sure of her husband's. All I know is he's a white guy. That's all I know. But yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting.
Again, man, there was a live stream. It apparently got removed immediately. When you look at it on Twitter, all of the community notes are saying, yeah, it's legit audio. It's hard to tell just listening to it, but there's a lot of signs that are pointing to legit.
In which well, for me, the only thing is, it's just hard to believe that he would slip like that. Now, don't get me wrong. If this was like leaked audio that he was saying in his house, I'm pretty sure he probably drops the N-bomb.
I mean, who's he talking to?
But that he would say this on a live stream, that's the only thing that was like, I don't know about this, that this dude would literally drop the N-bomb like that on a live stream. And that this dude has been in the media for a long time and talking to a lot of people. And I'm just blown away that he hadn't gotten caught up, before. Because the way that came out, that was very casual. That came out like, this isn't like somebody who was mad this one time and, just because of her, I try to think of the most hateful thing. No. This came out like somebody who casually calls black people the N-word.
Well, I mean, it's somebody who's made his living his entire career as a race pimp and a propaganda pimp and a sex toy pimp.
Yeah,
side business with his daughter.
That's really gross. Really gross, really cringy.
Did you not know that, Teal? This dude's daughter has a freaking... It's called kosher sex. It's called kosher sex.
Where they sell sex toys.
And he's got dude, his arm around his kid doing promo videos.
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good. Mm-mm.
Yeah, so that's the kind of rub with them. But it also made me want to kind of go into this one situation, because remember, we're talking about how they call everybody anti-Semitic, right and left. Now we have the issue where Chuck Schumer is finally starting to echo what everybody else has been saying about ceasefires and stuff like that. So let me see. Do I have this video up or not? I think I have this video somewhere. Actually, hold on 1 second. Sorry, I got a lot of windows open. Just got to find it real quick. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Which screen is this on? I got to share this one first before I hop to that. So y'all can see Steve, what is it? Steve Peters or whatever.
Oh,
Stu Peters. He's been having fun with this.
There you go. Yeah. Get your kosher sex.
Let's see, where's it at?
It's so foul.
Oh, here's that audio.
Yeah.
Tell you something, okay? That Jew-hating nigger is getting sued. And let me tell you something, okay? That Jew-hating nigger is getting sued. And let me tell you something, okay? That Jew-hating nigger is getting sued. And let me tell you something.
It does.
That's a kosher hard R right there.
Yeah.
God, dog.
Now scroll down a little bit and look at the community notes on it.
Oh, let me hop back over there.
I'd be mad if my beard grew in like that too.
Damn it.
I'm sorry. They maybe click on the first one.
Post.
Yeah.
His shit look like a wire hairbrush. Like
Yeah, that one.
I'll click on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Why is it not cooperating? Or in this one. Back out.
They call him the unholy rabbi. Get out of here. Look at that beard, man. It's terrible.
The unholy rabbi.
Oh, fuck.
What the hell was that?
What was that?
What?
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm.
The hell did he have in his mouth?
I'm not sure.
I'm like, yeah. I guess this will probably go down through a rabbit hole somewhere.
Half the buffet's worth of tapioca pudding.
God damn.
Yeah. So this gets kind
what's
of
really
wild.
disturbing. What's really disturbing about their behavior, especially about people who look like that troll, is that no one personally said anything against him. We're allowed to comment on any geopolitical event that happens, right? In anywhere around the globe. We're allowed to give comment on it, whether we agree with it or not. I mean, if you just look at the commentary surrounding September 11th, it was pretty bad out here with the rhetoric as it pertained to people people who follow Islam, right? It was bad for Muslims or anybody who even looked like they could be perceived as a Muslim. The rhetoric was bad. They had to deal with it. It seems that, again, this is the only geopolitical issue that you cannot say that the actor with the most resources, the most money, the most connections is moving badly. And to say that would then trigger a response about something that happened in the 1940s. And all that is to get you emotionally triggered, so then you start calling out their lies, and then boom, you get tagged as being anti whatever.
Mhm.
As I've said on this program many times, you can't even be worried about that label no more. And you have to be able to support the people who do say certain things, because as I said, this doesn't come without sacrifice. This does not come without threat of a lot of other shit happening to you. So I also want to make that fully aware to people. You know what I mean? Like, these people have power and they will use it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what Schumer was talking about recently. Oh, dang it, I was on there. Let me play this real quick.
I have known Prime
You
Minister.
know that she said new elections. They didn't say nothing about stopping fucking bombing people. Like, this is the
right.
This is the bar. This is the bar. This is me being tough on them. I want new elections because Netanyahu is elections. You know what I'm saying? That's
time.
So
While we
again,
have
it's all
vehemently
theater.
disagreed on many
All
occasions,
theater.
I will always respect his extraordinary bravery for Israel on the battlefield as a younger man. I believe in his heart he has his highest priority is the security of Israel. However,
Damn, he had to put on his
also
knee pads real good.
Prime Minister Netanyahu has lost his way by allowing his political survival to take the precedence over the best interests of Israel. He has put himself in coalition with far-right extremists like Ministers Smotrich and Ben-Gvir, and as a result, he has been too willing to tolerate the civilian toll in Gaza, which is pushing support for Israel worldwide to historic lows.
Wow.
Israel cannot survive if it becomes a pariah. As a lifelong supporter of Israel, it has become clear to me the Netanyahu coalition no longer fits the needs of Israel after October 7th. The world has changed radically since then, and the Israeli people are being stifled right now by a governing vision that is
All right, yeah,
stuck
you can wrap
in the
this up. I'm
past.
done listening to Chucky.
At this
I'm good.
critical
Stop
juncture,
paying them.
I believe a new
Does he
election
say anything else
is
worthy
the
of
only way
note
to allow for a
other than that I have on my knee pads and I'm about to, take care of my
Well, you got to think
paymaster?
it's not on his knee pads, because you got to think if it was on his knee pads, it'd be like doing something for somebody else. This is doing something for him. You got to remember,
In
they're on the
light
same
of
team.
the settlement
Yeah, but he's an
brokerage
honorary.
business my family owns in conjunction with our partnership with the Kushners, we would like to continue profiting off of the illegal expansion of the territory. So let's quiet down the genocide a little bit. We can go back to doing some construction work. Everybody gets a taste.
Yeah, I mean it's not on your knees for Israel when it's not like
He
he's
is
doing
Israel. He's
That's
got
what I'm
dual
saying.
citizenship.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying.
what I'm saying. He's
You're not doing
long
something
time,
for somebody else.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the way that he has to talk about it as if he's not part of it is just wild. You know what I mean?
Well, it's wild
but
how
again,
how him and Mnuchin and you have Blinken and all them speak as if they are not biasly on the side of everything going Israel's way.
Exactly, Jonino. Yeah, he's one of them. He's a Zionist.
Hey, Missy. I see Missy.
I remember when Schumer.
Up early over there.
I was in New York when Schumer first ran. I remember that dude long time. You know what I mean?
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. He's a dual citizen. That's his country he's advocating for. So it's not now Hakeem Jeffries. Now that's being on your knees.
Oh yeah,
that was wild.
And the crazy part about it, because see what it is they're looking at the messaging on how things are going, and they're trying to figure out how can we get back in control of the narrative. And that's what the whole TikTok thing is about. That's what this is about. That's what the whole, okay, Biden is in trouble. We see the uncommitted wasn't just a Michigan thing. This is a nationwide thing. This isn't just the Arab community. This is throughout the whole Democratic base where he's seeing this same, fervor. And so now they're like, oh shit, we got to take this serious. That's where all this narrative management comes. But if you talk to the Zionists, they try to put it off on, well, we just need to get rid of Netanyahu. Okay, but you guys still plan on doing the same shit Netanyahu was doing. You guys don't plan on changing anything. It's not about Netanyahu. It's about what is being done. Because if it's going to be Gallant, he's still going to be bombing the shit out of people indiscriminately. He still plans on going into Rafah just like everybody else. So this is just this nonsense. It's gaslighting.
Well, and look, the people that they're trying, Netanyahu's been fighting for his political life since he got back into office before any of this in the first place. He managed to duck out during the worst of COVID magically, while Israel went through a revolving door of prime ministers only to put him back in. He's up on all kinds of ethics charges. There were protests in the streets before this whole thing popped off, calling for him to be removed. They wanted him gone. It's only gotten worse in Tel Aviv ever since this shit happened, because the Israelis know. Unlike the Israelis in the US, the Israelis there have to read Haaretz and the J Post and every other freaking outlet that for the last 5 months now has been going, look, so Bibi knew and a bunch of the other people in the military knew, and there was a total none of this adds up. And then they broke the fact that it was Israel that was doing most of the killing on October 7th in the first place.
And let me say this too for people who don't know. If you go into some of the most hardcore Israeli news channels in Israel, they're admitting this stuff. It's not Steve being anti-Semitic and making up some shit. They're admitting this. We're just not hearing it in our media. We're not hearing it in Western media.
Based on the story, based on what you know about the Palestinians, Hamas, and Israel, based on everything you know over the last, I don't know how old everybody is, but at least for me, for the last, 30 some odd years, I would say, I know what the situation has been. And now they come out on this story in October, and the way that they tell it, these dudes was raping babies, beheading people, all while doing it on hang gliders. I mean, it was so fucking far-fetched from the start. They were lying. I mean, they were hyping shit up from the start. That right there should have been red flag number one to people. Just the exaggerated stories that came along with it. This border is, if our border is wide open, like Hamza said earlier in the chat, that border is the total opposite. That shit is buttoned and zippered.
And what you were saying, when what is it? That guy, that IDF soldier was talking about that, they were cut women's boobs off and they were playing with the boobs and all that. If you go back and look at that word for word that he said throughout the whole thing about cutting baby stomachs open, this is somebody else was saying about this. I think it was Lebanon or something like that, which was 10 years before or 15 years before, talking about a whole nother incident. They literally are just taking stories, other stories that actually happened, and some of them about putting the babies in the oven. This is something that was done back in the 67 war. Israel did this to Palestinians, and they're reframing all these things that happened to Arabs as what the Arabs did to them. And it's I heard Max Blumenthal say almost everything that Israel is saying that was done is an admission of a crime which Israel has done.
Yeah. Every accusation is a confession. That's what. We've been. Oh, dude,
it is. It really is, and it's just the rest of the world stands by and watches because they're afraid of the response from the West. But it just really goes to show, again, sometimes you think you have allies and shit, but you really be out here on your own. This is another lesson to be learned from this, right? We look at the Palestinians, everybody knows there's something wrong. Everyone. And everyone is like, oh, I'll donate some food and da-da-da-da, and I'll pray and I'll do this and I'll do that. All right, cool. But if you, the people there living through it, you have no friends, you have no allies. All we got is us. Because nothing. Because despite all of this stuff that we're talking about, there's still the behavior hasn't changed, and in fact, it's just gotten even more savage. You know, clearly their whole goal is to ethnically cleanse that geographical area of those people. It's an ethnic cleansing. They keep saying genocide. Me personally, I see it as an ethnic cleansing because there are Palestinians throughout the world, so there will be Palestinians left should they clear everybody from that region. I'm not saying that's cool. I'm just trying to actually define it properly. In that,
the reason
why they're region clear, except for the help.
I get
keep
what
the Palestinians there. It's going to be help because they're not hunting them down in Jordan and shit like that.
I get why you're making that. Because I feel like it's better that we do say ethnic cleansing, because that's something that I feel like is almost undeniable. But the reason why some people are saying genocide, because genocide doesn't have to be all; it can just be a portion. You can just take out, if it's focused at a particular group, and say you take out only 1% of them, that still can be technically classified as a genocide.
Yeah, but technically, when we think about, at least for me, when I think about genocide, I think about the people who were here before the Europeans came here and rearranged the composition.
Well, yeah, I get what you're saying
of the hemisphere, right? So, and I also think that, again, using the word genocide gives the Zionists in the media wars battle, it gives them a little bit of defense when you use it like that, because they can say, well, look, they live here with us in Jerusalem, they live with us here in the West Bank, so if we wanted them all dead, they would all be dead, right? So that's why I personally see it as they just want to clear that whole strip of 99.9% of them. And clearly they have goals to make that area look real nice too. And that's the other part. How do you have all of this happening and then you see plans for development, money being spent on projects? This stuff does not just happen over fucking night. To anybody who does not understand business, understand that the bomb didn't drop and they said, they're dropping bombs. You know what? This would be a good time to that's not how it works. They understand. They know what time it is. These plans long, you know what I mean? And it just so happens to coincide with every time it looks like Netanyahu is going to face some kind of political consequence, how small it is, regardless of how small it is in his home country. There's always some kind of crazy war shit that happens right after he's about to get in trouble or does get in trouble. So,
yeah, I just by the ICJ definition, I mean, and I know, and that's what the argument which Zionists use. Well, it's not 6 million like the Holocaust, so that's not the like. Even when they say, well, if we wanted to kill them all, we could have. No, you can't. The reason why you can't is because if you did it all rapidly on a mass scale, you would incur a retaliation that's going to come back to you. And you won't be able to have your allies jump in and protect you because you're going to be 1,000% in the wrong. And the people who understand strategy, they know better than that. They know that they just can't go and wipe out 200,000 Palestinians instantly. If they did that, then you would be facing then another nation decides that they want to launch missiles directly in that go straight through that Iron Dome, because some of those surrounding nations do have weapons that can do that damage. Those leaders in Israel know exactly how much they can get away with and how much they can't, and they're pushing those boundaries carefully. If they did like some of these people thought about and talking about tactical nukes and shit, you might see the end of Israel just like that, and they know it. So anybody says, "Oh, well, we could just," yeah, you have the technology to do it, but what is the consequences? Because for every action, for every action, there's a reaction.
But
I can punch Mike Tyson in the face, but what's going to happen to me afterwards?
But all of this should confirm, and the movement of our government as it pertains to the House passing that bill banning TikTok and all of the and all of the media coverage of that. We see the money is always flowing, it never stops. It stands. I think this is a very safe assumption. People in politics, and this is why you should disconnect from the political system at all. Clearly, they all are weirdos with their sexual habits, or they're clearly thieves, or they are clearly criminals, because that is the only way that they would continue to support this country, despite people in your backyard, your neighborhood, your constituency, your party, if you will, telling you, nah, son, I don't like what's going on here. We need to change direction. And the fact that they continue moving in the same direction that the majority of people is telling them we don't want to go. So they're telling you that the people who rule them, they got mad shit on them. They probably lied on their applications, they credit fraud, wire fraud, all kinds of white collar crimes. Probably got a couple bodies hidden too, if we gonna be real about this, right? So it just says all of those people are compromised, and if they're not compromised, they just some bitch ass motherfuckers. So this is why you need to disconnect from the system and not get emotional about their politics, because it's not for us.
Since I see we're getting a little bit long on time, and I do got something that I plan on doing after here. I got a couple of things I want to share so we can end on a funny note, and when we can come back to the on the whole the diamond thing next week. But I ran across something that I think y'all need to know about. It's some crazy shit. But we gotta have something fun, right? So I'm gonna show y'all this crazy ass shit that I ran across. I couldn't believe what I was watching. But y'all need to know about this new sport.
You made it to the main event, and the car is still intact, well enough for you guys to get in there. We have two Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu's black belts.
You look like a baby conehead.
Of course, the creator of Car Jitsu.
Balda.
So we're going to go ahead and do a coin toss. I'm going to let you call it in the air.
Heads.
Heads. It is heads. So you choose. Okay, go ahead and go around there. And I'm going to talk with Vic now. Vic, obviously you've been doing this for a while. We're still kind of learning about it, but you had to compete in this first one that we're doing here. Did you have any preparation, or like this is just second nature for you?
I do not prepare for Jiu-Jitsu, and I think that's just it's a good thing because we can.
Yes, this is called Car Jitsu.
Yeah, in a while and feel and be prepared.
So do you do most of your learning just in the matches?
So you mean they did all this shit?
Right on.
To smash these cars?
Okay. Well, you probably don't even want to look at the vehicle. You don't need to know. You're going to learn as you go. But go ahead and get in there and take your 30 seconds. Thanks, Vic.
It must be nice, kid.
All right, Matt. So now Vic had to be in this one, right? So we had to find a black belt. How did we find you?
JT posted on Facebook. I said, Karjitsu, I'm in. It sounds amazing.
Right on, right on. Did you know you're going to be going against the creator and like the founder and the guy that?
I did, but I'm just
See, that's
excited.
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, did you train at all before coming to it?
I feel like jiu-jitsu works in the car, works at a bar, wherever people are, jiu-jitsu can work. So.
Oh, and that rhymes too. Very cool. Right on, man. Well, good luck. All right, let's get it on. Let's go.
The competitors begin seated with safety belts fastened. When the match starts, they unbuckle and engage, using any part of the vehicle to their advantage. Points may be awarded during the match, but have no bearing on the outcome.
Yeah,
it
see,
takes
this
a
looks,
submission
this
to
looks
win the round at
homoerotic,
Karjitsu
dog, and I ain't with
Championship.
it.
If
Look,
the bout
they
is
pulling
even
each
after
other's
2
pants
rounds, we
down
go to a
and
third
shit.
round and possibly
Yeah,
sudden death to decide a winner.
No.
Okay, Matt Williams is making his way back to the
What
car,
type of
and we are
trailer
nearly
park
ready
shit
to
is
begin our
this?
first 3-minute round.
Correct.
The first 2 rounds at Karjitsu Championship take place in the front seat. If there is no clear winner, we will move to the back seat for a 4-minute third round.
They should have
Anything inside the
Appalachian
vehicle
version
may
where
be
you just
used to
throw a
submit your
raccoon in
opponent,
there.
and all
They said
rounds
go
can
to the
only
back
be won
seat?
by submission.
Pause.
Yo, it look, that no. See, they
Round 1.
again. They using
Immediately,
this
Vic
for.
McKeith reaches over and blocks the seatbelt of
Look
Matt
at this.
Williams.
You gonna get on? No.
Matt is now still
You
wrapped
ain't
in
even
his
try to
seatbelt.
punch
It's
him.
wrapped
You
around
just
his
want to
left
start
arm.
humping him. Nah,
McKeith's
dude.
trying to advance
I'm
his
straight.
position and get on top of Matt in the driver's seat. Looks like he's about to do so, but Matt has a lockdown on the left leg of McKeith. Matt's now trying to take the back of Vic. Vic's trying to free that leg.
You know, sometimes you wrestle with a woman.
Matt's still
and
stuck in that
you
seatbelt.
feel
Okay, now
yourself
Vic just
get a little
realized that the seatbelt
excited.
is in play.
That looked like,
He's
you
got
know,
the
they
seatbelt
getting
now,
a
and he's
little
trying to wrap it
excited
around the
messing with
throat
each other.
of Matt Williams. Matt has no interest in that. He's going to take. Okay, Matt is grabbing the
Hey,
back of
I'm
Vic's
just
head and
saying.
trying to control the posture
You
so
know.
that he can wrap the seatbelt around Vic's neck. Okay, Vic avoids that
You
successfully,
see,
and now
people
he's
like to
trying
be
to wrap
choked
that
at the same
seatbelt
time
around
too.
the
Some
throat of
people,
Matt.
right?
Matt is
Nah,
pulling out
see, this
all of
is-
the slack to prohibit that.
No,
Matt
we
wants
can
the
cancel
seatbelt choke
Christmas over
himself.
this one.
This is a big battle between who can be more effective with the seatbelt. We've seen a lot of seatbelt chokes tonight. The most effective has been the Ezekiel seatbelt choke, and it looks to me that
Where
that's
in
what
the
Vic
world
is
is
trying to
that
apply here.
sentence
Okay, now
okay?
he's got the seatbelt all the
Seen
way
a lot
around
of
the back
seatbelt
of
chokes
Matt's neck.
tonight.
Matt
choke.
is in a bad situation here. He still has the lockdown on the left leg. That's keeping Vic from
Is he gonna
advancing his
murder this
position, and Vic does
motherfucker?
not like it.
Am I gonna
Oh
have
my
to go to
gosh,
court?
Vic now has the ankle.
Oh,
Vic's
no,
going to go ahead
they-
and lay back with his
yeah.
ankle. He's abandoned
Only
the
thing that's
seatbelt
gonna
choke,
get murdered
and
is
now
the
he's
body
looking for
part.
some sort of a heel hook here, maybe a knee bar. Oh my gosh!
Yes,
Matt
Earl,
is
this
in a
is
horrible
real.
position
This
here.
is now supposedly a real sport.
Vic is now jerking on the
yeah,
ankle,
it is.
looking for any sort of a lock here. He's going to extend the. Oh my goodness, Matt's in
Oh
trouble.
gosh, he's got his toes there.
Definitely, Vic's looking for a heel hook here, and there's the tap. Wow! And just like that, Vic McKeith wins the first round with a heel hook of Matt Williams. Now, there will be no break between rounds here at Karjitsu.
Yes, they have multiple rounds of this. And like a championship and everything. Of Karjitsu.
Karjitsu.
I just figured that since I saw this shit, y'all had to see this shit also.
That's fantastic.
Oh, wait. Oh, that's right. Oh, I got one more thing. Yonina
That's it,
sent me something.
Thomas. That's exactly
I
what I
don't
was
know.
thinking about.
I don't know what is going on here. I don't understand this, but I want to hear y'all commentary on this. I definitely want to hear y'all commentary on this. I don't know if Yonina sent this to me being serious or joking. I don't know what I watched. I just left with a lot of questions.
I'm not afraid of the community. I'm saying that shit is it just looked like what it looked like.
Don't mess around and go fuck around and start shooting lasers on the motherfucker.
Trying to figure out how to start
You
the
done
shit
gave
over.
The right one, the whip. 7-18.
You have to let it play all the way out or refresh it.
7-18.
Yeah,
This is
Instagram
7-18. Let's
sucks.
see.
What the fuck?
Out of copper, it also generates another field, right? That's how the pyramids work too. I can feel it on my whole helmet. That's crazy. That's fucking tight. Don't mess around and choo-choo. Don't fuck around and start shooting lasers on the motherfucker. Like, yeah, y'all done fucked up now. Y'all done gave the right one the whip. 718. Let's try it. 718. This is 718. Let's see. Yeah, baby, let's go, baby. So if you make a tensor ring,
Yeah, I don't know what was going on here.
What in the goddamn Naruto Hotep is going on here?
Yeah,
I don't know. It looked like he trying to beam up to the next level.
Hey, he about to talk to our ancestors. Can I just send him a note? I just need him to. I just
He
want to
looked
ask
like
him a question.
Yeah, he with the tensor ring, Joe Nina. He looked like he's a black Doc Brown trying to find Marty in the DeLorean. That's what it looked like. He trying to channel where the DeLorean coming in, so he don't get hit when it arrive.
No Tino Shade. He looked like a black Modart.
I mean,
I
this
hope I
just
didn't age
says
myself, and I hope everybody caught that reference.
this just says 98% of people have no idea this method exists. For
Come on,
15
Marty.
minutes manifesting money, there is a powerful manifestation technique. It changes your beliefs on reality.
Or is that
in
a
the
cock
deepest
ring and
levels
he
of
telling everybody
subconscious
to get a
mind.
cock ring and wear it on their forehead? Which one?
I don't know what this dude is trying to do. I mean, come down with some new form of cancer. I don't know what he's
Sorry,
doing.
Tom.
He
I-
gonna melt his brain. He might melt his brain.
Yeah, is this? I mean, he might have been microwaving himself
man.
too much. I
That's
don't
what I
know
was
what
saying.
he's doing.
That's like that's electricity. Your brain gonna turn into Benoit brain.
I don't know what he's
Yeah,
doing.
I
They
don't-
told us that cell phones are bad to keep next to your head too much, and this dude
He's-
is doing way more than that.
You
He's
gotta hope
trying to
power grid.
become. He's trying to become Black Magneto.
That's
That's
where-
what I. That's the first thought I had. Like, this motherfucker thinks he's Magneto.
Yeah, yeah.
Now
Yeah,
watch in
Magneto.
3 years. Now we talking shit. In 3 years, he really gonna be Magneto. He gonna come fuck us up because we was talking
Right?
shit.
Actually, he gonna know that we were
He-
talking shit and
He
where we're
heard
at.
us already. You just don't know
Mhm.
it. He heard us. Yeah, yeah.
Everybody
He gon-
gotta go turn
Black
the Wi-Fi
Widow.
off after the show tonight, so he
Yeah,
doesn't come through it. Fucking
gonna
remember-
lawnmower man,
Like
style.
Lawnmower Man.
Yo, he gonna hit y'all with an EMP, so it's a wrap.
This instead of this Lawnmower Man, he giving me more radio vibes.
Right?
That's all I'm saying.
Oh shit!
Oh
got
man,
the
wow, that's
wagon?
fucked up. I
You got
should
the
have said
wagon?
that.
Speaking of radio, man, he got fucking name checked in old Lil Rod's lawsuit.
Really?
Cuba?
did?
Yeah, Cuba Gooding Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and
Yeah,
then he was in the Puffy shit, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that.
Yeah, it's
You know, I don't know about
crazy.
you know the thing that again my only thing with it going back to that is with the producer who filed the latest thing. You claim an abuse, but you went back mad times. You said he tried to touch you between your legs and your buttocks, as he put it, and you kept going back over there after somebody did that. So you was at your homeboy crib, you was just chilling, y'all was getting lit, you probably burned something, you drank, and then your homie tried to touch you, and he know you not like that, and you went back over there, except it wasn't even your homie. Now this is your boss or a peer, somebody you're working with, and every time somebody tried to touch you, you just kept going back over there, but now you're a victim. Okay, all right. I think we gotta like put victim back to the original definition of the word, because people be doing dumb shit and then saying they're a victim. You know what I'm saying? It's like me being with a woman. Oh, you know, I gave it to her and I really didn't want to. Poor me. I mean, that shit doesn't sound right. It's corny. And we got to stop, like, you got to stop listening to people who so badly want to be victims, right? They wear that shit on their chest like Superman. Like Superman wears the S on his chest. They got the V on their shit.
I'm about to say something controversial.
No, I think it fits with the theme of the night.
Hashtag me too, y'all. That's what happened. That bitch got to moving, and it ruined it for everybody. That's what happened. It low key gave a petition. It gave a participating reward to each person that can make up a story, and it fucked it up. And as a female, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that out there. That's what fucked it up. Okay,
I think
real victims are silenced now. Real victims can't even get, you know what I'm saying, no recognition, because now it looks like everybody trying to get a bag now. Thanks, Cassie.
Did you? I can't remember his name, but real quick, I just, you know, before we get out of here, this week there was a former high school football player who was accused of rape, of course, and he had spent spent a couple years in the Bing, right? Well, come to find out, the girl in the case, she lied. So this guy's whole college career, maybe pro career, you know, down the drain. And I just want to say this: the time that he should have maybe spent on a college campus, he spent it in a penitentiary over some bullshit. We also have to do something about the people who do that. So therefore, when somebody says, hey, I am a victim, you know that you can believe them off of what they say, because we eliminated all the bullshit. There is penalties for you saying, hey, somebody stole from me and they didn't, right? Once we put that into place, that's why, especially women, especially. So when she comes forward and says, yo, homeboy did something to me, you don't have to question her anymore. You just listen to her. You heard what she said. You can move on that. As opposed to like, I know there's like mad other biddies who out here lying about shit. I don't know, shorty. You're gonna have to do more than that. You know? So I think it would be better for everybody involved if, you know, we made the people who lie about these things responsible and give them penalties for lying like that. But anyway, that was out. Marcus, Till, it was good to meet you.
You know,
Steve, good looks on coming through as usual.
Can I throw out one more thing too? I can't remember which comedian said it, but I think it might have been Carlin. We need to just start taking the warning labels off of stuff. Let people figure it out.
Hey, survival of the fittest, baby. Survival of the fittest. Yeah. Natural selection.
The strong survive. We live in this to the day that we die. Survival of the fit, only the strong survive. Yeah, I was listening to Mobb Deep too. I was on my shit. Anyway, man. As I always say, man, take care of you and your family, your people, those closest to you. Don't try to overextend yourself, right? You overextend yourself, you'll be left with nothing. The people you want to help, you'll look to them for help and they won't be there. So, you know, just be mindful of everything that you do. But, you know, spread love, respect, and good food. Yo, we're just having a debate. Maybe Marcus said we could add this to next week or another show. I was saying that the best food in the entire world comes from the Caribbean. All the Caribbean islands combined, there's no other region that has better food.
Facts.
Okay.
Hands down. And whenever I'm just know what I need to eat. I'm Haitian. Yeah. So if I never know what I want to eat, I want to eat something, I'm eating Caribbean food. That trumps everything. I'll always get a chicken patty, cocoa bread, go home.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I'll be content.
See?
And technically, technically, what is it? Cancun and that part of Mexico kind of sits near the Caribbean, so we can even group some of that shit
You know
in.
what? I kind of included them too. I said, all right, y'all could come through. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you can't stay to the whole because y'all party too much, so we're gonna have to give y'all a cutoff limit. Right?
Because the only other place I say that's like given a chase after that, if you grouped like from that Gulf area of Mexico all the way to the other side of the Caribbean, if you group that together, the only area you could say that's given a chase would be the Mediterranean. That's about it. I'm talking about Sicily, Italy, Greece. They got some stuff over there.
Greece has to wrap everything in grape leaves and shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man.
I don't know. I've had some Kenyan and South African food. That shit bust. Jollof
I
rice.
don't know. I had a friend of mine that he was giving me some Nigerian food, and I'm like, no,
come on, don't
I
do
want
that,
no more of
man.
this
That's
shit.
just-
Because
Some of that
it's
could be good.
shredded
Some of that could be
emails
good.
asking people for bank information. It's not even food, Marcus.
Man, he gave me something. It was like he cut the meat and like, throw that fucking meat out of here. Let's just eat on this fucking hunk of fat. I'm like, oh, this is gross.
Oh, speaking of which, yo, they going crazy with the spring break down here in terms of the traffic, all kind of shit. So it's quiet in Miami. So it's coming up to Fort Lauderdale, and that it's getting busy up there. So I'm like,
I heard something about $300 parking in Miami during spring break or week if you're out of town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yes.
no, just don't come here.
Don't come here. We don't want you
it's
here.
Closed. Yeah.
Yep.
Correct. Because they just they wild out too much. It's too much. Even for me, like I understand a little bit of shit. You drunk, you're gonna get into shit. You're young. I understand a certain amount of that will occur in places like that, but it's too much. Even me, I'm like, all right, somebody has to be the adult out here. Y'all kids is wilding. Like y'all, they really are. You know what I'm saying? And young people will do young things, and that's okay. We was all young too, but you have to acknowledge that there's extremes, and they're doing everything to the extreme.
Kids these days don't know how to do shit in moderation. Period.
Yeah, it's all extra because of the camera.
I mean,
it's
I watched a
crazy
thing of
'cause
dude proud he's a
everybody's
drug
got-
addict.
Everybody's got a fucking video camera.
Yep.
And you're still doing that.
Yep.
You're still acting up like that. That's either amazing confidence or amazing stupidity.
Yeah, it's wild. That's why whenever I see the car chases out here and they're trying to leave Miami, I'm like, where you going? Where you going?
They're gonna get you.
You're not making out of here. You got 8 hours to drive to get out of the state. Where the fuck is you going?
I'm never getting arrested I'm never getting arrested in Florida.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna run from the police, it doesn't make any sense, especially if you're in Miami. You better off drive
And if
south.
you do,
and hope
we'll
that
know.
you're-
And if you do
Yeah,
get
and
arrested
it-
in Florida, we'll know because you'll be on the cover of mugshots.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get my OnlyFans popping. See, I'm pretty enough. Hopefully, I'm pretty enough. I can get a pretty mugshot, and then they can
That was one of the
give me
articles this
90,000
week on
in a
Blunt Force.
give me 90K in a month. I could use 90K.
Chick went from mug shorties to OnlyFans and bought herself a freaking house.
Yeah, got out of debt.
That one, but the dude Jody Meeks, he's like the goat of that shit. He bagged a billionaire and he chilling.
Smart move.
I mean, didn't Eve do that too?
Huh?
Didn't Eve do that too?
Yeah, but
Marry a
Eve
billionaire?
no, she didn't. Eve wasn't coming out of a fucked up situation. Eve was alright at the time when she met dude. Like she was okay. You know, homeboy was.
Well, I'm not saying because she was coming out of a fucked up situation. I'm just saying like, well, you billionaire money compared to even what Eve had is make her look broke.
Yeah, it was nothing. It was nothing. But at the same time, at the very least, if she wanted to buy herself, you know, she wanted to buy herself first class ticket to come see your ass, she could buy herself the ticket and be okay. She didn't need to beg you for the money for that.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So there's difference there. But anyway, that's it, man. I'm done. Guys, I'm out of here. We won 3 games. We won 3 games today. We got hopefully 2 games tomorrow. The championship will be the second game. I coach basketball. So for those who didn't know.
And tell Marcus if he let y'all get waxed by the Miami boys again, he getting the Kai Sinai treatment. He gotta go sit it down.
No, man, we was out there running today, man. We look good today. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'll be driving all around. Yo, these kids fucking chauffeur. I had mad kids with women I never like physically touched. Now I have all these children. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Dropping these kids off, buying them ice cream, pizza, all this shit. It's wild. I don't even like these kids.
Coach.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't even like these kids at all.
What? Marcus still up? Is he there?
No. They knocked out.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna let him know you talking shit. Tell him
that's
to come in
fine.
here, come get your ass.
I know. But they all be, hey, coach, can we go with you? I'm like, yo, no. But then, you know, I'm going to take them anyway. So it's cool.
Tell him when we play one-on-one, I'm coming down the lane like Karl Malone, leg kicked out and everything.
All right. Yo, little boy got some hops on him now, so he might be able just to withstand it.
Hops,
Anyway,
hops don't matter when you put that forearm on him.
I know, right?
You don't know.
But anyway,
Hey,
man, guys,
old man got
good.
some old tricks on the court.
I know, right? For real. Anyway, guys, thank you for coming through. We appreciate it. Everybody in the audience, please hit like, subscribe, refresh, do it again if it didn't work, all that good shit. Thank you. Check out Steve's page. Check out Teal and all her socials and shit like that. She said,
Let them know how they can. Let them know how they can find that.
So.
Yeah, let them know how they can find y'all because I think somebody did ask in there. I was like, they're on Rockfin, so that's the way to get a whole. That's the way to watch Blunt Force. And he was asking, is it a specific time and everything? So give him the deets.
We're Monday 6:30-ish Pacific time. Always 6:30-ish. You can always catch us on Mondays. My Instagram is Voodoo in Nature, so you can always get updates on our show and get some laughs on my shit whenever I'm not shadow banned.
Wait, that's 6 a.m. Eastern time?
No, 6 p.m.
PM.
Pacific
6:30
time.
p.m. Yeah.
Thank you. 6:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Pacific time.
Yeah. We're not doing
I was
that.
gonna say,
show
you
at
get up
6
at
o'clock in the morning.
3:30 in the morning to do this show? Like that's dedication.
Dedication.
No.
Shit.
No.
And you can catch Steve tomorrow morning. You guys got a show tomorrow? Slow
Yeah. Glory and I are doing a show tomorrow. Slow News Day. That's 10 o'clock on Rockfin and Rumble, and then AM Wake Ups Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. Pacific to 10 a.m. Pacific, and that's also on Rockfin and Rumble, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's good stuff.
That's it.
But
We're lit.
But yeah, it has been a pleasure and it's been a fun show. Everybody in the chat, thank you all for joining us. You guys could have been anywhere else, but you decided to spend this night with us. So we definitely appreciate it. And like I said, look out for the things that we have planned in the future. Keep your ear to the ground because we got some stuff coming. But until then, y'all all have a great and safe weekend. If you're people of faith, be blessed. There's been a Political Matrix. I'm your host, Young Morpheus, with Chris and with Blunt Force Wisdom. Y'all be easy.
Peace out, y'all.